Fossils in the hillside, they don't want to know. Cover them with sermons, hope the doubt won't show.
Oh, how they pray and close their eyes so tight, denying what's in front of them, holding on tonight. The world is wide and wondrous, but it's lost to their decree. They choose the simple answers and the truth they'll never see.
The oceans rise and tremble, the fields begin to fade. The voices of the scientists grow softer every day. But they call it fear-mongering, a trick or a lie. They'll watch the rivers dry up and still wonder why.
The old man at the pulpit whispers God's grand plan. No room for evolution in the making of man. They preach with fire and fury, a message carved in stone, leaving cracks in the foundation that'll break the unknown. Oh, how they pray and close their eyes so tight, denying what's in front of them, holding on tonight. The world is wide and wondrous, but it's lost to their decree. They choose the simple answers and the truth they'll never see. Oh, how they pray and close their eyes so tight, denying what's in front of them, holding on tonight. The world is wide and wondrous, but it's lost to their decree. They choose the simple answers and the truth they'll never see.
Spinning truth round the axis, that's a factual ride. Flirts fumbling hard, trying to run and hide. We got that gravity pulling, you just drifting through. Science slaps empirical, stick to the glue. Round pound, sharper minds, we probe for the real. History stacked tall, experiments that seal. Curious minds, globe-trot evidence rolls deep. While flirts count shadows, we night sky sweep. Emeritus Stannis flex with them shadow lines. Measured Earth's curve, no conspiracy signs. Dropping mics like Newton when his apple fell. Maths to beat, y'all theory stale like a cell. Foucault's pendulum swinging to expose. Rotation so true, no flurf can oppose. Telescopes beaming, Copernican frames. Centuries stacking, flirts out of their games. Round pound, sharper minds, we probe for the real. History stacked tall, experiments that seal. Curious minds, globe-trot evidence rolls deep. While flirts count shadows, we night sky sweep. Launching satellites, proof in the pics. Flirts screaming tricks, we dropping data bricks. Physics and logic on a level supreme. It's a curved reality, splitting flirt dreams. Launching satellites, proof in the pics. Flirts screaming tricks, we dropping data bricks. Physics and logic on a level supreme. It's a curved reality, splitting flirt dreams.
Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to KCK Debunks, where we look at the Flat Earth Derp and then debunk it all, show how foolish and stupid it really is, and we have a little laugh and poke fun and have a little giggle at this, stupidity that the Flat Earthers like to spew all the time. Like my shirt that I put up the other day, where we had OTD, whatever the heck his name is, claim that things don't drop in the vacuum, and because matter apparently can't exist in the vacuum. that was funny. I like that. That was a good one. So. All right. Let's just check on something here. All right. So yeah. All right. So the show that I have tonight is I'm going to be looking at Pete and Peter again. See what the heck they've been up to. I think they posted something up about a few weeks ago. So look and see what they have to say. And then we're also, but before that, I have noticed something kind of recently, and the fact is that I haven't seen Mikey Smith in a long time, and I'm getting a bit concerned. I'm starting to wonder. Ever since his CSA decision, in which his case was thrown out of court, and he was ordered to pay like $700 or $750, which I think he got off lightly, to be honest myself. But he seems to have kind of disappeared, and this makes me wonder what's going on there. I mean, hopefully he's okay, and there's nothing really bad there, because you know, I don't want to see the lad something happen to him. So hopefully he's okay. But yeah, just check out here and show you what I mean here. So he's looking at his channel. I have been kind of keeping an eye on his channel a little bit. Now he has posted a couple live streams which he's put up and then took down. He hasn't posted any videos for a while. I think his last one was 3 weeks ago, and it was something to do with the stars, Pleiades or something like that. Yeah, Pleiades 2 weeks ago. Sorry, has in definition bigger stars, and then he did live. Now he's done a few other lives he had put up and put down. So like there's a 3 week gap in 11 days, and 11 days he's on his bike pedaling away, sweating, making up a sweat, saying something about "Don't be afraid of me." What he's on about. I did watch that, as many of us did. In between here, he had a bit of a meltdown, and then one in which he, if anybody's seen it, he took it down. But I did actually watch it before he took it down, in which Mikey was kind of having a bit of a existential crisis or something, and was kind of saying he was going to give up flat Earth. That was it. He was done. Like, he's just, nobody's doing anything. He's just sick and tired of it all. And the only people that really came in and kind of talked him down, talked him around, helped console him was like Globers. Now there's flat earthers in the chat, and he opened up his StreamYards. The only people that actually clicked on it and came in and had a little chat with the guy and kind of helped kind of make him feel a bit better about himself was like 3 Globers, which kind of says me what the flat earth community is like. So I did find that on this side. I don't know if anybody's in the chat here. If you want to tell me I've been trying to sort my audio out for a while here. Hopefully it's not too bad. I am trying to monitor it. I want to see how it sounds. So, let me see here. Seems like I'm peaking just a little bit. Let's just bring it down a tiny bit. All right, let's see if that's a bit better. All right. So, just listening to the stream. All right, see how that is. Okay, I think I've got it. I think I have it now. So, yeah, sorry if it's on my phone. I'm only because it's monitoring. I want to see how my audio is. I've been trying to kind of sort it out for the last several days, and get it to it sounds a bit better. So, which is why I have the shield here thing, and as well, I'm trying to keep it at a certain point. So. All right, that sounds better. All right, we'll go with that. Okay. Sorry about that if I'm just jumping on just dead space here. Okay, so what was I? So yeah, I did know, and I did notice Mikey put up one short. I'm just going to show it real quick here, which I think is kind of concerning at the same time. So we'll see here. Also, why is my live chat not showing up on there? Oh no, it is showing up. Never mind. Okay. Somebody just commented. All right. So he did put up this one live, or this one short. I don't know when he put this up. I don't know if short show when they put him up, but if it's before or after he got his decision. But here, let's have a little look.
All right, guys, we have an option here. I'm not saying you guys have to do this, but this is what I would like to do. Hands down, of course, after I get some tires, I guess, if that ever happens. We need to get me to Quebec. I want to go to the Canadian Space Agency and do my protesting, my educating out in front of the Canadian Space Agency.
I mean, after he's lost that that lawsuit against the CSA, and now he wants to go to Quebec to their headquarters, that could get him into some sort of legal trouble where it could be seen as harassment. So that's kind of, I mean, depending where he goes, I suppose if he's standing on public property, maybe it could be okay. I don't know if he only does it once. I doubt the Canadian Space Agency knows who he is, but yeah, that'd be rather interesting. If he tries to go now, the only thing is, and it's because I used to live in Canada, years and years ago. It's got to be, whatever, 20 odd years ago or longer. Quebec brought in a provincial law that in the wintertime, any cars that are on the roads in Quebec have to have winter tires. Now, I remember this distinctly because I had just bought a fairly new car then, and I was trying to get winter tires. I wanted to have winter tires in my new car, so because I lived in it's obviously snowy where I lived and stuff, and it was so hard to get winter tires because pretty much everybody in Quebec were buying up most of the stock of winter tires, and so the supplies were really low. And I wanted like a certain I think it was which one was it? It was the ones that had the walnut shells in them. So I cannot think of the name right now. Search the end. There's a Hankook or Nikon or something, whatever. I think it's Hankook tires, and they had little walnut shells. I really wanted these particular ones, right? New car, especially grip on ice like that. There are new ones out. I could not get them. Could I get them? I think I ended up going for Blizzak or something in the end for my car. But so I remember when they brought that in law. So they have a provincial law in Quebec that any cars on the road in wintertime, because it gets quite a lot of snow and ice and stuff, must have winter tires. So even though Mikey's got his all-wheel drive Subaru and it's all fantastic and all good like that, if he were to go now, he would have to have snow tires, winter tires on his car. If he doesn't, and something happens, or just if the police happen to go past, somebody checks or whatever, or something happens, he could get fined for not having the correct tires on there. So that is one thing I would advise that he does. And a lot of people in Canada, they actually have winter tires and summer tires. So when I worked in a few different shops, because I'm a licensed mechanic, we used to have, in fact, I worked for a dealer that we actually had a service that people come in, have the tires swapped. So every winter to summer, some of the winters, whatever, they leave them there, and we had a company to come pick them up, take them off. They'd have them labeled and everything. They'd store them in a big temperature controlled facility, a big warehouse. And then what they do is people would say they want to come in and have their tires swapped. They'd book with us. They'd have to book ahead. We would inform the company, because we had used one company to store all our tires. We'd inform them. They'd pick them, bring them down, drop them off the day of or the night before. Or something like that. Drop them off just before the person's due to come in. Person comes in, we go over, grab the tires. We'd have a sheet, blah blah. They'd be all like on a pallet. We take and wheel them over. A lot of times you'd be in like bags, because there's like special like really strong tire bags, and or we'd have them in plastic bags like the tire bags. We'd swap them over. Sometimes they'd be on rims. Sometimes people would have winter rims and tires all at once. It's off on, good to go. Right, do them up, and then obviously most treaded on the drive tires. Or if not, then we'd have to swap the tires over, and then they'd be sent. And then the company come back. We say, yeah, let them know. They'd come back, pick them up, label on there, off to go, blah blah blah. So That was getting to be more common in Canada. Either if people stored their own tires, they bring them in, have their winters, we swap them over, or they pay a service that they'd have a place that would store them. They keep them stored and temperature control and all that good stuff like that. So if you lived in an apartment building, you didn't have to worry about that. So yeah, I digress. So comes down to it. So the fact is, Mikey, if he's going to go to Quebec, especially now, during the winter months, you need to have snow tires. So, or else you get himself in some legal trouble with that as well. As well as there's a reason for that, and that's because they had a lot of car accidents and stuff on the road, and so they determined that having winter tires where you had the grip was beneficial and it was safer for people.
So I need gas. And a whole pile of it. It's going to be like 30 hours driving, if not more, and 30.
It'd probably be more because winter months you tend to not be able to drive as fast, especially if you hit some really bad conditions. Well, Highway 1, you'd probably take most likely Highway 1 on Trans-Canada. Normally it gets plowed quite quickly and grated and salted. If there's a fresh snowfall, it doesn't always happen. So, or if you get in a really bad blizzard and you got the snow plow out, you behind those plows, sometimes it's hard to get past them because they kick up that much snow and stuff with the plowing. So yeah.
Plus hours, and I am willing to drive that. I would probably drive it in a couple days because I don't like stopping, but I'm putting this out to you guys. It's up to you if you want to see me in Quebec doing my activism in front of the Canadian Space Agency. I'm 100% determined to go there. I just have no idea when I'm going to go. I'm going to need a few dollars for gas. And that's about basically all I'm asking for. And I'm doing the work for you guys. So hopefully we can make this, we can come together and make this happen. But I'm going to Canadian Space Agency. They are going to know who I am personally, and I'm going to show them the facts. All right, guys. So let's get this all done up. And whether it's today, tomorrow, or 2 months from now, let's do this, guys. Keep in touch. All right, guys. Peace out. Have a wonderful day.
I mean, well, I think it'd be entertaining to watch Mikey Smith go to the CSA headquarters and do his activism in the front. I think that will be entertaining for me and probably people who are on the Globe side. I know he's asking for money now for gas money. It'd be handy if you were to do that to put some sort of like dollar amount on it. So if he says, okay, I figured out my car gets whatever, how many 100 kilometers per liter or liters per 100 kilometers, pardon me, because he's in Canada, so kilometers. If he I don't like chat. If he put something on and say it's going to cost me $300 in fuel there and back, plus accommodations. So let's say whatever. He's going to go there. Probably have to at least stop at least once, if not. I would say probably he should plan for longer, for at least 2 or 3 stops there, 2 or 3 stops back in a hotel. So this is staying in a cheap hotel. You're looking at what? That was a long time since I stayed in a hotel. Let's just say $80 a night. So you're looking at 160. You're looking at like 8 times 160. Yeah, so he's looking at 60, 200, 200 and 200. Sorry, $240. Sorry, $240. So yeah. $240 there, $240 back. So you're looking at $480 plus 3, let's say $480 plus another $400 in gas, 200 there, 200 back. So you're looking at now you're looking at $880 plus, staying. Yeah, so he's looking at quite a bit now, that's just rounded on to $1,000, cover some, some food and stuff as well. I mean, come on. I mean, Mikey, really, I mean, it's probably best that money you're asking for, you got to pay the CSA $700 and some dollars. I think $750 if I remember correctly. I have to look it up again. dude, like just pay them the money and just move on with your life, right? Just go back to doing your activism in Regina, going to Saskatoon. Maybe leave Assiniboia alone. Seems like people are getting sick and tired of that, and just move on, buddy. Right? Just go back to doing your thing. Get some more star observations. Maybe do some deep sky stuff. You kind of got the Orion Nebula. That was pretty decent. So, but yeah, dude, yeah. So I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I said on the live chat, I've done just subscribers only. I'm trying it out, seeing if I get people to come in and chatting and stuff like that. Last time I had a couple of flatties show up, which is great. They can show up if they like, but if they're going to show up and come in and derp in my live chat, they can at least subscribe, right? I think it's only fair. So, I see Lost Shadow of Hanzo's in there. So, dude, yeah, all right, cool. I don't know if anybody else is live tonight. I didn't actually see if anybody else is live, but. Oh, Unfornicated is live. Yeah. Well, I don't know why he's decided to start doing Sundays, but whatever. Solar Panic. Right. Well, he's been on for an hour, and Unfornicated does like long hours. Yeah, is he still on? Yeah. Oh no, he's not live now, is he? All right, I don't know. Okay, sorry, just checking to see if Dan's live or not. Okay, so we're gonna get onto this with Pete and Peter. I haven't watched this yet, so we're gonna do. I'm just gonna react to it as it comes up, and we will see. Let's see what happens. All right.
Rotating platform that we call the USU Coriolis carousel. And I have 4 amazing riders on this carousel, and what they'll be doing is passing this ball back and forth between each other. We'll be seeing the movement of the ball from 4 cameras.
It should be entertaining to see what these 2 derplings have to say about this. It's quite funny. Why does he look so pissed off? He looks quite pissed off at this. They're going to talk about the Coriolis. Okay, that should be interesting. All right.
2 stationary cameras that don't rotate. One of them's over here, looking at the proceedings from the side. The other stationary camera is right up here, looking down on the rotating platform. We'll also have 2 rotating cameras, one right here that rotates with the carousel, and the other on Aiden's chest here, a GoPro that will see the motion of the ball from his perspective. So what I'd like to do first is to have my amazing riders pass this ball gently back and forth a couple of times to show what happens on a non-rotating carousel. The ball goes straight, as seen by the overhead camera and the chest camera.
Right, there we go. Have we not seen this bullshit before? Yeah, we've seen. Well, I'm sure lots of other people have seen this kind of the same. Was it the same old shite? Same old rubbish, and that is.
I love how they start to discredit the whole thing instantly right away. They're instantly just triggered. It's kind of funny.
Yet more videos on YouTube trying to convince people that the Earth is this ball. But this guy, and how typhoons and hurricanes can operate on a ball, on a ball Earth. But this guy can't do exactly the same as what other people have done. No, he has to go that one step further, and he has to have a little swing with, or a roundabout. You could call it, couldn't you? Yeah, turntable with 4 people, with his children, 4 of his children. Yeah, 4 amazing people. Yeah, how'd you get that word in? Amazing. Yeah. Nobody else is amazing, just his children. Yeah, just amazing. His kids are amazing. What about him? Isn't he amazing? What about me? Aren't I amazing? And his wife is just sucking up to his BS. She's just sitting there, going,
Oh, isn't my husband? He's so wonderful.
What's his name?
Well, these two are getting quite offended by the fact of this. I think this is a rather well organized and planned out demonstration of the Coriolis effect. And it's even done when he's got like two cameras from station that are stationary that aren't moving with the platform. He's got two cameras that are, and he's got from 4 different sides and watch and see how it goes. And see, so you got different perspective, different things to see it from the inertial plane of motion, where somebody looks like they're moving, but from their point of view, the apparatus isn't moving from them sitting on it, compared to standing outside of it and watching it come in, and watching from the side from a place where they're outside the reference frame, and you can see, so you can notice the motion and watch and see what happens. I think I think it's rather done, well done, and it's put a lot of time and effort into this. But it looks of it, the apparatus and stuff like that. So, but these two, they know what it's going to prove, and they know what falsifies all their derp. So they're instantly just trying to discount it instantly right away without actually watching it, and they're just trying to just say, "Oh, this is crap. This is crap." You know, dudes, like you haven't even seen what they're going to do yet. You haven't seen like even what they're trying to show, what they're demonstrating, and then what their explanations are. I know they probably know this already, and and they know that they can't explain it on a flat earth. Their model cannot explain this, and so they instantly get triggered by it. So let's continue on and watch these two as they start to crash out.
I haven't a clue. He mentioned it earlier, didn't he? I mean, it went in one ear and out the other. I'm not really interested.
Well, anyway, yeah.
But
anyway, it's small BS.
Yeah, it's more fodder for the brain dead.
Yeah.
You can be very intelligent and very good at what you do, and you can still be stupid.
Oh, all right. Like I said, I haven't watched this yet, so I'm just gonna pass all their. Oh yeah, okay. With Pete and Peter.
Yeah, well.
Oh, what was that yet? Reasons water is not H2O. The water is. I've got to do this shit. Water is not H2O. Legitimately, water is H2O. In fact, we can chemically prove that by breaking down the bonds and actually and observing them. That is 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. Like, this is fucking demonstrably proven. Like, it's so easy to prove. Like, you can already show and demonstrate that. I mean, shit. I bet you these guys believe in like the guy who's in the States who ran his car on water. And then something happened to him and they suddenly got taken out. I bet you believe on that. Well, guess what, fellas, Pete and Peter? Guess what that guy was fucking doing? He was using electrolysis to break down the bonds between the hydrogen and the oxygen and burning the fucking hydrogen using water. So he was, and then I was through the burning. What goes out the back is hot water. Because as the hydrogen is burnt, obviously it's chemically is broken down. It's burnt as it's going out. Some of those molecules still in it, they start to combine, being superheated back with the oxygen that's already in the tailpipe at the end, and they combine back, and then you get hot water going on the back because it's now warm, but it's cooling down as it's going down there and bonds back with the oxygen, and then becomes fucking water again. Holy shit! Like this, yeah. In fact, that happens with the internal combustion engines as it is. A lot of times you look to see a little bit of something, especially if it's a bit cold out, dripping out the back of your tailpipe. Put your finger underneath there and give it a little sniff. It's fucking water. That's what comes out when you burn hydrocarbons. And then you have your hydrogen broken down with obviously your NOx, and you'll have NOx. You have CO2 or CO. Is it CO? At the back, but yeah, some of the oxygen and some of the hydrogen, because you do have, it's in the air, combines back together and you get water. You'll have a little bit of water dripping on the back of your tailpipe. And that's why it tends to rust a little bit on the end too. And that's part of the process of burning hydrocarbons.
Yeah, well, we're back again annoying people with our views and opinions because Because I was going to do that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people dislike hearing other people's views and opinions.
Yeah, that's certainly so true. Yeah,
Especially if you're a science teacher.
Yeah, if you're a physics teacher. Yeah,
If you're
sure.
if you're
a pilot.
a daughter or a son of a science teacher.
Absolutely, of course, yeah. Or basically, if you just don't like people,
Oh right.
you know, if you don't like your mother or your father, or if you dislike your kids,
What's that got to do with it?
or if you disliking people means you won't get on with them, which means you're always going to be at loggerheads with them.
Which
You
means
won't work as a team, which
Right.
means you won't think like them.
yeah, but that's the thing.
It's like Lee Anderson's son, for example. Do you think he's going to? Do you think he's going to be everything? He's going to be in agreement with Lee Anderson,
With his dad.
with his dad. Yeah. Do you think
No.
he's going to be in agreement with him?
No, it's not. No.
Because he loves his dad so much.
No.
He's going to be in disagreement with his dad quite often because he doesn't like his dad.
All right.
He doesn't get on with his dad.
And a lot of people who don't realise who Lee Anderson is, he's a reform member of Parliament.
Yeah, well, he's an MP for something. How he managed to get there, I really don't know. But
Yeah, I know,
it just
yeah.
goes to show that the British voter is brain dead. The majority
Well,
of British voters are brain dead.
They put a lot of values first that really
Sure,
aren't really wholesome.
absolutely, of course. Yeah. Anyway, but that's another story.
Anyway.
How are you, Peter? Are you well? Are you well? Or are you
Yeah,
well?
I'm very well, and we hope you are all well too. We haven't done a video for some time.
Yeah, it's because we've, I don't know, it's just getting in the mood, being what we'd much rather want to do videos than have to do videos. Oh, we've got to do a video now.
Well, I mean, you know, it's for us when we've covered quite a lot of material in the past. And we can quite easily come across some material like we'll show to people in this video, and we'll just
It's just a load of bollocks.
put forward that it is all just rubbish.
It's just bullshit. Absolutely, of course.
It is all just rubbish, and you kind of like look at you can go trawl through YouTube videos and you think, well, yeah, there you go, we know what that's about. That's a load of rubbish. So you don't look at it.
Oh look, there's a video on Mars. Oh look,
Oh, right, yeah.
that's just bullshit, isn't it?
Oh,
really?
the Chinese
The atmosphere of Mars. Well, you know, that's just bullshit.
the Chinese astronauts that got stranded.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's
You
just
know,
bullshit.
it's just rubbish.
It's just total rubbish.
We
Absolutely,
know that as soon as we look at it, it's rubbish.
we know it's just entertainment.
Yeah, that's all it is.
It's just there for propaganda.
It just fills these NASA fanboys' heads up with
Yeah.
with dreams.
Yeah, it fills people's imaginations.
Yeah, that's all
You
it's
know,
for.
because people in this society love to dream.
They love
You know, they dream about lots of things. They dream about getting a new car,
owning a home,
having a nice woman as a wife or
Oh, right.
girlfriend.
Well,
you know,
having
getting a
woman,
job.
having a woman as a
Absolutely, of
wife.
course, yeah. But getting a job.
Not being lonely. In life.
Absolutely, you know, or wishing their neighbours would just fuck off. Do you know what I mean? This is
Yeah,
what people
yeah.
dream about, you know,
Dream
on a
about
day-to-day
basis,
level, because
yeah.
people dislike the reality.
Of their lives.
They even dream that the Earth is a ball, this globe, whereas nobody's seen or can evidence or prove any curvature of the Earth at all.
Yeah.
See, we've
That's bullshit. And I've said this a few times. The fact is that if these guys ever want to meet me out in New Brighton, not too far from their home, I'd be more than happy. So Pete and Peter, you want to ever contact me, I'll put this out right now. We'll meet out in New Brighton. We'll stand on New Brighton Beach, just at the promenade. I'll show you exactly where. And from there, we can watch the ships as you leave the mouth of the Mersey and head up. Watch some of the big, massive ferries to go over to Ireland. And a lot of times you go up the coast. You can watch them head up towards Blackpool. They will disappear bottom up. Then we can look to the left, and we can look and see the wind farms. There's two wind farms. They're side by side out there. One's a lot further out than the other. And you can see how the ones that are closer to us, you can see all the way down to there's a platform that you usually roll up. You can float up to on a boat to go do maintenance on the wind turbines. Pardon me. But the ones further on, you can't see that. And as you see, you can see those turbines starting to go over the horizon, over the curvature, and you get to the point. It looks like the big blades on the wind turbines are hitting the water, but they're not. They're all exactly the same height above the water. They're all the same point, and yet it looks like they're doing that. That is curvature. Right now, I'll even bring out my telescope. I have, you can pick one. I got three. I got a little tiny one. If you want to have a little tiny one, I have my refractor, my 70 millimeter refractor, or I have my 130 millimeter reflector, Newtonian reflector. That's the one that's probably the biggest one, the best. And I'll put my astro camera in there, which can work for the any kind of, it's just a camera, so color camera. I'll put it in there, and we can actually look, and we can get like really zoom right in quite a bit, much better than any P1000, and we can have a look and see if that any zoom will bring them back in. Right, I can zoom right in with the computer. I can use the telescope. I can I'm looking at getting a Barlow soon, so we can even do a Barlow, even put it on more, right? So we can go hundreds of times. I can go like, I think my telescope, my 130 goes up to 307 times zoom. So much better than P1000. And because it has such a much bigger aperture, I can get gather a lot more light, so you can actually get much finer detail. But these guys are more welcome to. We'll meet up there, not a problem. And I'll show them the curvature. Because they'll probably claim you can zoom things in. But yeah, curvature can be easily be seen even from one of these guys are. And I know this personally because I have actually been there and done it and seen it. And I have videos on my channel that you're more welcome to look and see.
Change that a little bit because of the final experiment rubbish.
Right, yeah.
We're actually asking people now for, let's see some fucking curvature. But if you're saying
curvature is shown all the time. Check out Reg Rhetoric. He did the from Tampa Bay. He did the blink test using the buildings. Or you can look at mine where it was 15 miles from looking over from the coast of the South Wales over at the Carmarthen Bay. And you can look and see where you can't see part of the where all the cliffs and stuff are missing. You can see just some of the buildings are way up on a cliff, just on the edge. And why? I ask why that is. So why does it want to go from high altitude to lower altitude? Easily seen, easily shown all the time.
In the Earth's a spiral or a ball, a globe, let's see some curvature of the Earth.
Right, yeah, that's
you
right.
know.
Well, what we could do in this video, because we haven't done a video for must be about 2 months, is it? 2, 3 months?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Something like it's been some time. What we could do is that we could revisit the Coriolis carousel demo, and we can point and highlight why it's just rubbish what he's doing.
Yeah, why it's just
what he's
total
doing
bullshit.
is total rubbish.
Oh, we can probably give a realistic take on what's going on.
Absolutely. We're also going to have a look at the nautical mile.
Yeah, because this is interesting. We come across a video that we watched about.
Just quickly here, just for anybody who might be watching this later on or in the chat. Here we are. As Pete and Peter said, you can't see curvature except for the power lines overlaying Pontchartrain. And as you can see, as it goes along here, and you can see how it curves at the end, curves down. Why is that? Crazy. Here's a different one. Curvature, curving down. And like I said, what is going on there? I didn't mean to click that. Okay. As you go down to this one here, you can see there. Why is that these ones are higher up, yet these is like they're sinking. Oh no, they're sinking. Or it's just the fact of curvature, like I said. And I have that on my channel as well. This has all been shown to flat earthers loads of times. All they really have is just nah. Here we are. Same ships. Same ships. Here you are. One's closer. 6.5 nautical miles, 7.7 nautical miles, and 9.9 nautical miles. They're all the same sister ships. But yeah, here you see one's closer, less, and then less. This is all effects of the curvature of the Earth. Quite easily seen. Or you can see it from obviously something like that. Or you can just look at something like I think where is that from? I'm not sure where this is from. This one here particularly. All right, not sure on that one there. But what you can see is that get off that here. If you look at some like the I just got like something like that there. There you are. Image of the Earthrise. If you look at something like I think what is that company called? Some of these are fisheye, I'll give you that. Some of them are not fisheye. Like I said, like Pontchartrain, if it was flat, that's where they would be going, and you can see that following all along. Why is it that if it's a flat Earth, they'd be going up here, not curving down there? So I think I'm being my point. So we'll crack on here.
About the nautical mile. And why ships and aircraft use knots as a gauge for speed.
And we came across it, and there was some information in the video that we thought, oh no, we've got to include this in one of our little videos. This is probably quite good.
We're going to have a look at that. We're going to look at a guy who's talking about gravity and pennies,
because he replied to a comment of ours that we left over a year ago.
More than that,
over 2 years ago, I think.
4 years, I think.
Sure.
So we're going to have a look at that. And I thought what we could do is we could look at Dave McKeegan's channels.
Oh right, yeah, we can,
because we haven't been on there. Dave McKeegan's
and the guys who went to the final
Frying Pan Dan
Union Glacier camp.
Yeah, we can just go on their videos, their channels, YouTube to see what they're up to, because in our view, we have had some conversations with some globe heads about the final experiment, and in our view the final experiment doesn't prove the shape of the Earth.
No.
This is put up 23rd of November. These guys put up, so Flurfs are still moaning about the final experiment nearly almost a year later. It's just absolutely devastated the crap out of these guys. Like, it is absolutely this freaking Flat Earth is never going to be the same after the final experiment. It's hilarious. Like, they're still derping about that.
It does is confirms the observation that one sees
when one is at the Union Glacier camp.
When one is at that location,
wherever that is, of course.
That's all. And if you see a 24-hour sun, that's all you can confirm there. Well, I've been to the Union Glacier camp and I've observed 24-hour sun
at that location.
That's all you can confirm.
Yeah, you can't confirm
so anything. You walk away from
concrete
that,
about the shape of the Earth.
You walk away from that saying, but I've just confirmed that I observed 24-hour sun at that location at Union Glacier camp.
It does not mean that the Earth is a globe. You're making a cognitive assumption based on that observation as well.
No, the fact is a 24-hour sun is impossible on the flat Earth. And that was the whole thing, is that they looked and said, okay, our hypothesis is if the Earth is flat, we will see this. The sun should do this. If the Earth is a globe, we should see this. And then they went down, and obviously they looked at the variables. On here, let's bring something up. Perfect. Okay. Just for Pete and Pete, you guys happen to watch. Okay, here's the thing, right? Most flat earthers will agree that this is a fairly good representation of the flat Earth. Okay, so now what they think, hey, Lindsay, how's it going? Yeah, well, then there's as Lindsay just said, how about the sun going in the opposite direction? That's a good point, right? Right, here's the thing. Flat earthers claim that the sun does something like this around here, right? During our summer months. As it goes to larger here, it goes like, okay, gets down to the Tropic of Capricorn, right? So it only goes down to about here, where my mouse is, right? It goes around. Now, where did the final experiment go? Well, they went from here down to here. So they should never have seen the sun out this way, but they did. In fact, what they did is they see the sun, as Lindsay's just pointed out, Lindsay Bow, is they've seen the sun going. So say here it goes around that way, we should go this way. They've seen it going the opposite way. So these guys seen it going this way, they're going past. They've seen it going the opposite way, and they've seen it go. So this doesn't work on the flat Earth because they also claim that it's covered by a giant dome and shit like that. So they think the flat Earth looks something like this, right? So, and the sun, flat earthers can't decide if the sun's inside or outside the dome, but they do agree that the fact that it never passes the tropic of Capricorn. However, that was seen to be the case. So this is more like a flat earthers think the Earth looks like they are, right? So they think the sun's like this. They can't agree how high it is or stuff like that, angular size, shit like that. Flat earthers haven't decided that, but they do think it goes here, and this is like as far south as it'll go. But yeah, as I said, I don't know why they have South America like that. That's weird. But why is it not attached to North America? Okay, whatever. So they're down here, right? So that's not a very good picture, isn't it, of the flat Earth? How's it going, Lindsay? Nice to see you in there.
Well as the observation of seeing 24-hour sun in the north during certain parts of the year. You know, people shouldn't be making cognitive assumptions about the world they live. And in science, that's what they're doing all the time.
They're not. They're testing things. You have a hypothesis. Science has a hypothesis. You go with a hypothesis. You usually starts the observation going, oh, look at that. I see the sun. He seems doing this. Now, I've noticed this. Why is that? Okay, let me have my hypothesis is such. My hypothesis is the sun rotates over top of a flat tropical plane. Now, how can I test that? How can I prove this to be true? Oh, I'll measure it. I'll measure different times a year. I'll have my friends measure around different countries, and we'll come up with the model and see if it works. Oh, look, it doesn't work. Oh, look, my friends down in Australia, seeing the sun rise and set south, rise south of east and set south of west in my wintertime and their summertime. Hold on, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't work on my model. My model says it should never be south of east and be south of west. But yet, my friend who's seen this took pictures, took videos showing that to be true. Okay, well, my hypothesis that the Earth is flat and the sun is floating above it is falsified. Oh, now what does work? Oh, look, my hypothesis is, his hypothesis is it's a globe. Let's look at his. Globe tilted at 23.4 degrees axial tilt. Wow. And that seems to count for everything. That seems like the better model. That seems to be more conforms to reality. This is how science is done, fucking Pete and Pete. I'm sure one of these guys claims to be some sort of freaking teacher. I still haven't been meaning to look that up. I've been a busy man, so, but yeah. Hey, Clarence, how's it going? They are unique individuals. Lindsay, I noticed on Fornicated saying he was going to be live, and then I clicked on his channel real quick and noticed there seemed to be like he wasn't there, and there's some music, and then I noticed it wasn't there. So he seems to be doing Sunday streams around the same time I am. I guess his schedule's changed or something.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, we got some example. We got an example of that.
It's just absolutely ridiculous because people have just lost the plot. They want to dream.
Anyway,
yeah, absolutely. Because they don't. The reality is nobody knows what the real world is. They can describe it. Well, there's a tree and it looks like this. And
wow, see how long his arm went from there to there? Hold on, sorry, I'm taking a piss now. But why do you do that?
Because they don't. The reality is nobody knows what the real world is. They can describe it. Well, there's a.
Oh, look at that! Holy crap! Look at this. If he still how long his arm went, holy crap! Is it Gumby? Wow, look at that! Taking the piss, but look at that. That's just funny. All right, I'll stop goofing off.
A tree, and it looks like this, and here's a plant, Here's a shrub.
Look at
Here's
that
an
again.
animal. Here's an insect. There's the air. There's the sky.
They can do things with the materials that are on the earth, like sand. They can heat it up,
melt
and they
it.
can think, oh look, if we melt this and add a few extra bits, it
Sodium
can make
hydroxide
It can
and
make
stuff.
it can make glass.
Absolutely.
Clarence, I know they don't believe water contains hydrogen. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, listen. What's it made out of then? Oxygen? Is it just water? Is just pure oxygen? Like what? Because it's H. Oh yeah, they believe it doesn't contain H2O. Oh shit, they're not. Crap. Sorry, that was me. I keep forgetting to switch the scenes. All right. I'll go back a bit so everybody knows what I was going on about. Because I was
So we can do so.
here. I was just saying. Let's go back a bit. Thanks, Clarence.
And the reality is, nobody knows what the real world is. They can describe it. Well, there's a tree, and it looks like this, and here's a plant, here's a shrub.
But see, they think it's their own. They think it's his own element. So they think water is his own element, even though we can chemically break it down and show and actually break the molecules apart into individuals that have oxygen and hydrogen. I mean, do you know how hydrogen, how they produce hydrogen, how hydrogen fuel cells work? Do they not realize that's kind of how it works? Like the fellow who built that little dune buggy like back in the 60s that ran on water. He's not realizing the guy used electrolysis to break the molecular bonds apart to run on the hydrogen. Like, that's fucking, weird. All right. Leotis is like, hey, Unfornicated posted on YouTube that his hamster, aka computer, decided to undertake a slowdown. She is off tonight. I'm not going to be able to say much because you're in background. All right, you know what? Thanks, Leotis. Yeah, I noticed that Unfornicated was going to go live tonight, and then something had happened. So I think he's having some issues with the setup. So hopefully he gets that sorted out. But nice to see you. So these guys come and kept me company for a little bit. So thanks for that. Let's crack on with these two. And Peter with his incredible expanding arm. Look, his fingers are over here and his arms over here. Wow. Stretch Armstrong. Hey, Real Cygnus, how's it going?
Here's an animal. Here's an insect. There's the air. There's the sky.
They can do things with the materials that are on the earth, like sand. They can heat it up,
melt
and they
it.
can think, oh look, if we melt this and add a few extra bits, it
Sodium
can make
hydroxide and stuff.
It can make glass.
Absolutely, we can do. So we can interact with our environment so much. We can change it a little bit, but the thing is, we don't know what it is.
Why don't we know what it is? What? So I was doing tests, being able to observations and stuff like that, make hypotheses, make models, and then test those models to reality to see if their models can make accurate predictions. How do we not know what it is? I mean, they say this, but it's like these two obviously are very much ones. They say it, so it must be true, even though that's bullshit. And it's like they keep saying curvature's never been shown, but curvature's been shown loads of times. They just refuse to accept it. And it's just so it's yeah. It's just turn my gain down a little bit, so hopefully that works better. Yeah, yeah, just talking shit.
What is the world we live in? We don't know. Nobody knows. Human beings do not know what the world is. They've got ideas about what they.
Really, we don't know what the world is. Is that his claim? It's non-claim. We don't know what the world is, but yeah, we've sent people up in 1969 to 1972 into 1970s, and we took pictures with a film camera, and took pictures of the Earth. Look, there's a picture there of the Earth. So how do we not know what it is, but yet we have physical evidence of we've sent people up and who took pictures on Kodak film, and there it is. So it's like you can say that shit, but it's just lie, right? In fact, here's looks like one's from the film reel itself. There's one there off center a bit, and then here's 1972 blue marble. It's one of many photographs that were taken. So they say that shit, but yet we not only have we measured it, but we've also took pictures of it and do multiple times every single day with different satellites and stuff.
They think it is.
They've just
But they can't prove their ideas are true.
Yeah, they've just
Or the world reflects their ideas.
they
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. I'm sure we're still waiting for Flat Earthers to prove anything about their idea of how the world is. They're still waiting. I've been waiting for 4 years, asking hundreds of Flat Earthers, and a single one's shown anything.
just attributed.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've just attributed the word quartz and silica to sand.
Absolutely, of course.
That's all they.
What? So they don't know? They don't think that sand's made from different elements, like different minerals, like quartz and silica, and that's once again that's easily proven. It has been proven. Using different techniques, using chemistry, using geology, breaking down, looking at it, checking out those elements. Yeah, this is all stuff that's been empirically proven. It's just these guys deny all science. They think all science for the last thousands of years is all bullshit. Okay, well then they're more than welcome to show what the real science is. Like, by all means, go get your Nobel Prize. Prove it all wrong. That's what science wants. That's a whole Nobel Prize. Go get your Nobel Prize and disproving all sciences. They're still waiting.
They've done. They've attributed words. Yeah, words. Isn't it funny? I was just thinking that. Isn't it? It's funny how they say that carbon is They allege that carbon is all within human bodies and plants and vegetation.
It is, yes, we're carbon based. That's once again improving.
But in our understanding, it's only the result. There's none. It's only a result of a process called combustion.
Yeah.
That arrives at carbon. Well, yeah.
No, not at all. I mean, combustion. You can burn. You can use through combustion. You can do chemical process in which you can separate. Sometimes you can break, either burn up or separate the carbon. But it's not. You don't get carbon from combustion. That's not how it works.
But it's the same. It's the same kind of. If you use the same logic as theirs,
Yeah.
you could say that There's no reason why you can't be calling sand glass.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure.
You know,
Because sand isn't glass. Sand's it's like calling fucking. It's like calling a tree a table. Because tables are made out of wood. It's Pete and repeat, yes. That's exactly it. Pete and repeat. Well, they try to finish each other's sentences too. It's really weird, right? Like they're trying to make it like they're on the same page. Wow, look at this. We can either say the same thing or finish each other's sentences because we're that in sync. Yeah.
so when you go on the beach and you treading on, you could be saying you're treading on glass.
Yeah, but
I don't know. Some of the beaches in the UK, you probably are treading on glass. I'm not going to say you're not. Wear your shoes.
the glass, the sand that you're treading on doesn't have all of the additives that glass contains.
But it's not the point though, because sand is the main.
It's the raw material, the main ingredient
For glass.
for glass.
You could say that I'm treading on glass.
Yeah, or what could be glass.
Yeah. And
A glass precursor.
no, or you can call it
Kind of
glass.
Well, if you wanted
So
to,
let's call it glass
instead of sand.
instead of sand.
Okay, I'm gonna start calling trees tables and chairs. Or maybe we should say trees aren't trees anymore. They're paper. Trees are paper because paper is made from wood and made from trees. So let's just not gonna call trees anymore. Trees are just paper. Like that's how ridiculous their fucking their argument is. Like this fucking insanely stupid. Like how holy shit these guys are so fucking dumb.
And call
Okay.
it glass.
So what's the stuff in your window then? Because that's got additives in.
Yes, it's called fucking tempered glass. Like a lot of this glass is tempered. It's had a little, sometimes you get some glasses have different stuff added to it to either give it certain like maybe make it stronger or to give it different maybe to have a shine to it, maybe a reflectivity to it. Yeah, there is things you can add to it because that's what we do. I think they're seeing something about glass. Yeah, they're saying something about glass being that sand that they're gonna call sand glass because you use sand to superheat it and break it down and to make it and use the silicate to make glass.
Oh, well, yeah, that's the point. That's enhanced glass.
Enhanced glass.
Do you
Absolutely.
like that? Enhanced glass.
Glass with additives.
Yeah.
Glass with additives.
Yeah.
Absolutely, of course, yeah. Sure. I mean, it's at the end of the day when you can see through the bullshit in man's world, you start to realise that some things never change. Some things never change.
A man's world is just so there's nothing fantastic about man's world.
Nothing at all.
Nothing
Absolutely,
at all.
of course. Yeah. When you take all the glitz and glamour away, I often think that this is how people are, and that is that they walk through life with a veil. And as you get older, when you're exposed to certain information, you have certain experiences and everything, that veil becomes thinner and thinner.
Lifts.
It starts to lift, and you can actually start seeing everything that's around you because the veil has gone.
Yeah.
And then you think, oh, fuck,
Yeah.
Oh.
But the irony of it is that the veil shouldn't be there from the very beginning.
Absolutely, yeah, the veil.
Yeah, Clarence, these guys like to repeat the same word over and over quite a bit. It's fucking insane. It's hilarious.
Shouldn't have been there to begin with because unfortunately
you had that. Well, in our understanding, people have that awareness.
Sure, absolutely, of course, yeah, because the veil can make you do things that you shouldn't be doing. Yeah, it can get you into a lot of
Make
trouble.
go that way instead of that way.
Absolutely, of course, yeah. But
Anyway.
that's another story. That's a political issue, I guess.
Political.
Sure, of course.
Oh right, yeah.
Anyways, what should we get on and do first, then, Peter?
Well, I think we should get on and do. Let's go and have a look at that gravity and pennies.
Gravity and pennies. Right,
Pennies from heaven.
pennies from
Oh, this should be fun. All right, so gravity and pennies apparently. Let's see.
Pennies from heaven,
from
yeah.
somewhere. Yeah, we want Mr. Clegg's physics.
There
The
we go.
guy's an indoctrinated person
Yeah.
whose brain is totally fried, but we'll watch his video. It's only 1 minute 51 seconds long, so we'll watch this for a
And
little
listen to it.
while. Okay.
Let's speed these two dopes up a bit.
Cooking scale. I had to use the less sensitive scale because the stack of pennies was too big for the precise one. So here I have a penny, which is somewhere between 2 and 3 grams. The scale reading only about to the nearest gram. If I blow on it, well, it doesn't really affect it, I guess, but if I tap on it, so, okay, 3 grams. Probably a little less, actually. There's my 10 pennies put together, which is 26 grams, and I got some tape on there as well, so that probably has a little bit of mass. So 26 grams for 10 pennies, 3 grams for 1 penny, which is probably more like 2.6 grams, and it just rounded it up. Now, if I were to drop these both together...
Now, why didn't the guy just bathroom? My kitchen scales are much more accurate than just the nearest gram. That's kind of dumb, but whatever. You think you just could have easily found a more accurate scale. Moving on.
The same exact time, the same exact height. You might think
So is he gonna this is gonna disprove the whole density thing?
that if the mass had something to do with the situation, that we would actually have a big problem here, right? If the mass had something to do with the situation, then probably if there was 10 times as much mass, there would be at least a little bit of difference in the amount of time it takes them to hit the ground. Well, let's see what happens here. 3.
It was also going to be a little bit more resistance because this is a big block, so it's going to have a bit more air resistance, where this is going to have less resistance on it. So, do you take that into account, the aerodynamics?
3, 2, 1, go. And they both hit the ground at exactly the same time. It's a little hard to see on the video. Let me see if I can actually back this up a little bit so you can see them hit the ground. 3, 2, 1.
Well, okay, great. So now, hold on. Before we, now, I can't believe a grown man. I'm sure he could be a physics teacher. Could be because it's his physics, Mr. Clegg's physics. Nobody else's physics, but Mr. Clegg's. Yeah, Mr. Clegg. So we're talking about a grown man. Yeah, sure. With a mind of his own. Well, allegedly, and he's actually dropping 2 different objects. One with a heavier, one that has a heavier mass than the other. One heavy, one light, to demonstrate that they fall at the same rates. Yeah, but more or less, yeah, that's what he's demonstrating. Yeah, does gravity cause objects with larger mass to fall faster? In this experiment, we dropped 1 penny and a bundle of 10 pennies at the same time to find out. So remember, the question is, does gravity, whatever gravity is, cause objects with larger mass to fall faster? Okay. Now, we actually got a comment. We left 3 years ago. Yeah. We left a comment on this. And I can't believe a grown man is doing this. He's giving viewers the impression a single penny and a stack of pennies will drop the same rate over any height. And yet his demonstration shows him only dropping them once from a single height, say 4 feet. How does this guy actually know the objects will fall at the same rate, say over 10 metres, or 20 metres, or about 100 metres? In the video, the guy only demonstrates a penny and a stack of pennies will fall at the same rate from a height of about 4 feet. It's insane to extend this result to all heights. Okay, which seems a reasonable. Well, I mean, really, we should have been. It's insane to think that the same causation would occur. You get the same results at all heights. You get the same results at all heights. So Mikey Smith from Chiapas is basically a stalker. He's not so, and then Mr. Clegg left us a comment 3 days ago, actually. Yeah. The intention is not to extend it to all heights, but to question an assumption that limits inquiry. So, I mean, I don't mean to be funny, but...
Okay. I kind of see where you're going. Okay. I mean, the guy at that height, you think gravity has acceleration, which is 9.8 meters per second squared. So if he dropped that from that height, they're both accelerating at that initial 9.8 meters per second squared. Now, as they go into as you keep accelerating until they hit eventually terminal velocity. So if you drop that off, like say, I don't know, a 50-story building, would those 2 objects, the stack of pennies tied together and a single penny, would they hit the ground at the same time? I mean, then as you're speeding up, then you may actually start experiencing wind resistance and stuff. So then at that point there, the stack of pennies, being that it's a stack that has more mass to it, has the weight, has more pull, and the single penny may actually then be different. The stack may actually end up hitting sooner because it has more mass, and so it's able to push past that wind resistance easier, or to a fast acceleration, where the single penny is going to start getting restricted, being that it has a flat surface, by the wind air resistance it hits. So it could do that, or I said we have to look and see, is that, or the area. So I haven't done the calculations. You have to look and see the size, how much air resistance should be on that in our atmosphere, and in the single penny, because obviously the single penny went straight up and down, it's going to experience less air resistance. If it stayed in that orientation, then it may have hit the ground faster, which the stack of pennies, being the fact that it's a stack, may experience more resistance. I have to do the math. But yeah, I can see at their point that maybe over a longer distance, being 9.8 meters per second squared acceleration, and then taking into account air resistance, would one hit the ground sooner than the other over a longer distance? That's something that you'd have to look at and see, and there'd be a math, probably people much smarter than me who could sit down and do the maths, do how big a penny is, around penny, also the diameter of it, or the diameter of it, and then the stack of pennies and the same kind of surface area it has, and see how much air resistance there is. So I say that demonstration was kind of silly in some way, but they got up a point, but yeah, I think they kind of went a little wrong with it. So
what the fuck is he talking about? What on earth is he talking about? Assumption. What is the assumption, and why does it limit inquiry? Absolutely, of course. Later, we introduce an equation for terminal velocity. I mean, think about logic that we're trying to create.
I see that there you are. So now we're going to look at terminal velocity, air resistance. Would that be in there, I suppose? So.
We are essentially critiquing his understanding that he's putting forward in this video, and he can't even understand that we're doing it. He doesn't even know what we're talking about, probably, because he's...
See, I just want to do something quickly for shits and giggles. Okay. Let's ask AI, see what they have to say.
Helps to say what?
Hey Grok, I'm just on my live stream for my debunking channel, KRCK Debunks, and I'm just looking at something. You want to say hello to everybody?
Hello. Hope your stream's going great.
Right, so I was just watching a video of a fella, and he dropped 1 penny over like 4 feet, and he had a stack of 10 pennies strapped together, and they both over a 4-foot distance hit the ground at the same time. Now, if you extended that distance to say maybe a 50-story building, using obviously taking into account air resistance and the 2 different masses, which one do you think would hit the ground first?
In a vacuum, they'd hit at the same time. Galileo's old
No,
experiment.
not in a vacuum. I'm talking like on the street, like in our atmosphere.
Yeah, with air resistance in the atmosphere, the stack of pennies would hit first. A single penny has more surface area per weight, so it falls slower, like a feather versus a brick. The strapped-together stack acts more like one heavier object, punches through the air better, and gets to the ground noticeably sooner.
But would the penny could actually orient itself on its edge, then it actually would have less air resistance.
Yeah, that's a fair point. If the single penny flips edge on and stays that way, it could slice through the air more efficiently than flopping flat. In real drops, though, a lone coin almost always tumbles and flutters side to side like a leaf, which massively increases drag. The strapped stack can't tumble. It stays flat and stable, so its drag stays relatively low. So even if the single penny occasionally goes edge first for a second, over 50 stories, the constant wobbling of the lone coin still loses. It'll take a couple of seconds longer to reach the ground than the bundled stack.
Fair enough, actually. That does bring up a good point. The fact is, you'd have air currents and stuff that would actually cause the coin to tumble and flip around. So, my first assessment was kind of right. The fact that over a long distance, the bigger stack would hit the ground first, being the fact it can punch through and is less susceptible to the resistance, air resistance of the 2 objects going through the air over a longer distance.
So indoctrinated in his own belief system, in his own thoughts, in his own cognitive assumptions that he's making about gravity and about objects falling at the same rate, because according to him, in a vacuum, all objects will fall at the same rate. Am I right?
Well, it would, because you wouldn't have the air resistance, and so then you don't have that variable contributing to the falling of the objects. And this is obviously easily proven. I just put up a short just yesterday showing this. We had when Brian Cox did the drop of the bowling ball and the feathers in a really, really large vacuum chamber. And obviously with the air in there, the feathers got affected by air resistance. Take all the air out, so as much as you can. The vacuum chamber, there's air really wasn't a factor, and both hit at the same time. This has been demonstrated many, many times. So, and as well as was on the moon when Apollo went up there and they did the feather, the falcon feather, and the hammer drop. So, yeah, that is definitely a factor. I correct me if I'm wrong, and comment down below if you're not watching this. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, what are you doing? Please come on, subscribe to my channel. Costs you nothing. Takes only a second. Click that. Also click the like button if you like this video, and comment down below. Let me know. Do you think this video these 2 actually watched, this video here with this guy dropping pennies, do you think this guy was actually trying to question gravity itself and trying? It seems to me like the video they watched was a guy trying to claim that mass attracting mass isn't what gravity is, and these 2 seem like they're stupid enough to not realize that he actually was trying to support their position that gravity isn't a mass attracting mass. Or you could look at obviously from Einstein's point of view, then it would be space-time being bent due to the gravity, and both being attracted due to the fact that the both masses bending space-time, but obviously larger mass bending it more. So, I just what do you think? Do you think that this video these guys watched, that they're kind of harping on this guy, they're actually legit having to go with somebody who's actually probably more on their side, trying to question and show that trying to almost trying to claim that mass attracting mass is a larger mass and a smaller mass both dropped. Hit down. Both dropped and hit the ground at the same time, and trying to claim that it's not due to the mass of the objects.
Or am I wrong? Allegedly, all objects will fall at the same rate in a vacuum. This is because gravity is causing the objects to fall.
All objects, irrespective of mass.
Irrespective of mass. Mass has no effect on the rate of fall an object has displays or has. You know? So
because if objects fall at the same rate in a vacuum chamber, then what is causing them to go down? Then what is the bias to go down? Because the objects still would have mass in a vacuum chamber. Two different objects both still have mass. It's still accelerated at 9.8 meters per second squared. That's still happening.
we wrote a comment. I mean, he hasn't had many comments. He's only 4 comments on his old video.
It's a crappy video.
Oh, no, there you are. Oh, yeah. So we as a reply, we wrote, so from your demonstration, you can only conclude that mass has no influence in relation to those coins being dropped from a height of around 3 to 4 feet. You cannot apply your conclusion to dropping the coins from higher elevations, say 50 metres or 100 metres, because you haven't tested your hypothesis, which is quite true. In my opinion, in order to carry out science properly, you need to test your hypothesis fully. And that would require you to test your drops from a variety of heights and in different mediums, so you can get a better understanding as to whether mass does influence rates of fall, or whether your assumed gravitational attraction, because remember gravity is only an assumed idea, it's only an idea concept, causes objects with larger mass to fall.
Gravity isn't a concept. We have a force that causes things to fall down, right? Me taking this and doing that, what caused that? Why is this going down? Why is it going left, right, up, down? Why isn't it floating? Why is it going? Why only down? Why can I not make it go any other way, right? We drop it this way sideways. Why is it still going down, right? Why?
Faster. From my experience, heavier objects will always hit the ground first before a lighter object, given enough height is allowed for both objects to reach their maximum drop velocity. And that, in our opinion, is absolutely true.
So if
because usually an object is lighter tends to be be subject to air resistance more easily, where a heavier object, which has more mass, tends to have more mass, tends to be able to push past the air resistance isn't as a large contributing factor on it. And I've actually done demonstrations showing this.
Mr. Clegg, Mr. Clegg here dropped his coins, or dropped the penny and the 10 pennies that tape together. If he dropped them from much higher than this, say 50 metres, or even 10 metres, or even 10 metres, 20 metres, he would notice a difference in that the heavier object will hit the ground first.
Yeah, I mean, by doing it at this height, he's not allowing both objects to reach their maximum drop velocity. So it's a trick. They're tricking people into thinking that objects fall at the same rate.
And from our experience, we can put forward the idea that the lighter object will reach its maximum drop velocity quicker than the heavier object, and that's why.
Yes, because air resistance starts to become more of a substantial factor and be a more conflicting variable as the speed increases. Then you have, and those two objects being the fact they have to hit a higher speed. If you drop like a feather and those pennies, or even the single penny, the feather's gonna reach a certain velocity at which then the air resistance is going to be stopping from going down. It's going to be a more of a contributing factor compared to the penny. Where penny can go has denser compared to the size, where the air resistance isn't going to be as large of a contributing factor until it hits a faster velocity, which then, as it's going through the air, then more air, then the air is going to build. The air pressure is going to build on that penny, and then it's going to become more of a contributing factor.
They appear to have hit the ground at the same time over a very short height. It's exactly the same as the alleged astronaut who did the hammer and feather.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same.
So the lighter,
principle.
the 1 penny, well, as soon as he drops it, it goes quicker as opposed to the slower 10 coins.
Yeah, sure.
Because that takes a lot longer for it to reach its maximum drop velocity.
Yeah, sure.
So it kind of balances it out. So it appears as though both objects are falling at the same rate.
Yeah, see, that's our interpretation of what we see. Now, in order for somebody to say, no, you're totally wrong, you need to be dropping these at 50 metres to show that we are wrong. Yeah. But you're not going to do that, are you?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You know, nobody's going to be doing that. But
or they'll just tell us to watch Brian Cox's video with his.
Pierre Victoria says we all know pennies are fake. Well, suppose where you live, I guess. Depends where you live. I mean, if you live in Canada, pennies are don't exist in Canada anymore, do they? So I guess supposing Canada could think that pennies are fake. I'm muted. Am I? Hold on. Hold on. Are you sure? Alright, Victoria just says I'm muted. I am. Holy crap. Hold on. What's going on? Video instead is not synced. Hold on here. Let's see if I got some streaming issues going on here. Error, your YouTube's not receiving. Open widget. I seem to be buffering. Hold on here. Let's just see here. Yeah, just hold on, Victoria. I think it's me. I think I'm buffering a bit here. Just give us a second. Might be smoothing its way out now. I just give me a second. I'm just gonna fix this. Let's see if that works. Are we still going here? Hold on here. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Let's see here. Is that better? All right. We're gonna try that and see if it is working or not.
But
Well, they edited in the
vacuum.
bowling ball and
On
the
feathers, yeah.
bunch of. Oh right, yeah, sure.
Yeah, the video that was edited. Yeah.
The edited video from.
Can you prove to me it is edited? I'd like to see the evidence that this that it was edited at all. So, let's see if I can refresh this. Yeah, no, it's I don't know what's going on here. I'm just trying to see if I can sort this out. Right. Just give us a second here. I'm just trying to see if I can work this out. Yeah, that's it. I'm being hacked. Let's do Vlad. Okay. I'm on freaking like so this should be like some of the better internet providers. Crap. I'm still getting an error message. Why is it still saying poor? OBS this thing is drop frames, zero drop frames. Okay. Let's okay. I can think of is might there might be an issue. Hold on here. I might have I know it's might know what's going on. Let's just see here. I might have it now. It seems to be working. All right. But back to the video.
NASA's vacuum chamber, which is total rubbish, you know. But I mean, at the end of the day, you know, if you think we're wrong, or if you think it is wrong that heavier objects do not hit the ground first before any lighter one.
Demonstrate
whatever height.
Yeah, demonstrate.
Whatever height, you need to be demonstrating it.
Yeah,
you need to demonstrate that we're wrong.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't do that, then how can we be wrong?
Yeah, and if you're saying about air drag and air resistance, then do it in a vacuum. Don't drop things. Don't turn this pole over that's been the air's been vacuumed, and then they just turn it around
because it's not long enough.
It's not high enough.
Yeah, we get tired of seeing.
Let's see something 30 meters.
Yeah, we get tired of seeing all of these drop tests that people do, and they're only over very short, 3 feet, 4 feet. Yeah. That's not scientific. That's just.
I'd like to see the evidence that that Brian Cox drop test was edited. Show me evidence, because they showed the live view from it like in different angles from when nobody was inside that vacuum chamber. So they're making a claim. I'd like to see evidence to support that claim. I love how flat earthers just make claims and think that must be true.
That's propaganda. It's skewing things in order to suit your agenda. You have you want to support gravity. You want gravity to be real.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to convince yourself and other people that gravity is real and it does cause objects to fall at the same rate.
You want to think that man knows about the Earth.
Yeah, and the only way they can do that is by tricking you or fooling you into a false understanding.
Yeah, just like the sand, or glass, if you want to call it glass. Man attributes names to the sand. Oh look, found some sand on this beach. Oh, what should we call it? Well, let's call it sand.
Yeah,
we can call it glass. Oh look, objects are falling. That's because there's a force of gravity acting on it. But hey, where is this force of gravity?
Well, it's not.
I can't see it. Well, can you see it?
We can't even detect it either.
Yeah.
It's just it's in people's minds. This is where science exists. It exists mainly in people's minds.
Yeah.
With reference to the natural world, science exists in people's heads.
Yeah, but they want to put across that there's this thing they know about the natural world, Earth, and its natural world. Yes, gravitational.
I think I did. I'm gonna look at something. There's something I had done a while ago. I see if it's the test. I done a test ages ago. I can't remember if this is the one or not. Let's just bring up a video I had done. Hey folks, how's it going? So one thing I hear flat earthers say all the time is that gravity is a theory. It's never been proven. It's not real. Now, either they're lying or they haven't done their own research. They tell us to do it all the time. And they don't know about all the experimentation and evidence that there is for gravity. Now, one thing I've brought up several times, and flat earthers like to run from, is the Pound-Rupke experiment. I've done a few videos on this months back, like almost a year. And Pound-Rupke experiment, using gamma radiation, was actually able to prove and demonstrate and measure the gravitational effects of on the redshift, blue shift of the gamma radiation. Now this is only. I don't know. This is the one I was thinking of. I have a demonstration where I did it, which showed. It's not the one I was thinking of. Well, I'm gonna get off that. I've talked to the Pound-Rupke a few times. So. Oh crap!
No attraction. That's what's keeping everything.
That's
down.
what keeps all of the planets in position and not moving further away.
Gravitational, nothing else.
Absolutely no. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's why the moon is up there. That's why the tides rise and fall.
But that name has only been attributed to describe an effect. Describe an observation.
And it's what people think in their minds.
Yeah.
How it works.
But it doesn't mean to say it's real.
Absolutely, yeah, because none of it can be proved to be true.
Absolutely.
All. So the only way you can prove it to be true is just in your head. It's true in your head, obviously, because you can say, well, the word gravity, there you go.
Yeah.
Gravity.
You get other people
there is a word called gravity.
Other people
we're all in.
But using gravity and making things like the Pound-Rupke experiment being an example, or Cavendish experiment, we can make predictions based on mass attracting mass and the gravitational field of the Earth, and we can do things like and using that we have been able to do it. That's using the gravity. We have people like PhD Tony, who uses gravimeters and our knowledge about gravity, how it works, to be able to find things like mineral deposits, oil deposits, stuff like that, and with a high degree of accuracy. That that companies are investing millions into, like, that he said this is where this oil deposit is. They send in all the crew, big drill thing, go down. They find it. Now, if he's wrong and it shows that this thing isn't working, then then it's not going to work. Those companies will not invest in having people like PhD Tony and the people he works with and the science. He wouldn't use it because he wouldn't pay, right? He wouldn't invest that kind of money. So we have that much knowledge of how gravity, how it works, mass attracting mass, or you could say bending of space time due to the massive objects bending space time, that we are able to make predictions about in this ground at this point here. Send your crew in, spend all this money, drill down there, and you will find this particular thing that you can get, or you can mine here, and you will get these minerals and be able, and you will make and your return on investment will make you lots of money. And then now I've gave you this knowledge, here you are. So we have that much knowledge. We use it all the time. I just realized I don't have my light plugged back in. We set it for Christmas, and a few things have been moved around. So there we are. It's a bit better. There we are. Okay. So this is stupid. Yeah.
In agreement, there is a word called gravity that relates to falling objects.
Oh,
gravity.
And get other people to use the word.
Oh, there's Jim over there. Now he accepts gravity as well.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Laura over there and Lorna. Hi everyone. Yeah, gravity.
Frying pan down.
Yeah.
So you're trying to tell me that these guys, their whole issue isn't the fact that we know it is, but the fact we've called it gravity. The name, what's the old saying? A rose by any other name will smell just as sweet. The name doesn't mean it's going to be, you can call it something different. They can call it something else. They can call it friggin' like pushytrons for all I give a shit. We still know how it works. We know exactly what it does. And we have enough scientific knowledge to be able to utilize it to be able to find things like minerals, oil, or to send satellites into orbit, and then know how and orbital mechanics sends spaceships up in the orbit, how to go around, how to go to the moon, come back, predict if something like a comet or an asteroid is going to hit the Earth or not, depending on the distance and the size of it and its mass and our mass and stuff like that. We can make these predictions and know that they work out to be true. There's that much knowledge. We can predict the future, literally.
He's a gravitational guy. Look, there's somebody over there who doesn't think of gravity. We won't talk to him. Can you understand what it is? It's like a big club. Yeah, it's like a big club. You're either in it or you're not. Yeah. But the thing is this is why it's not true. Gravity is not true because it all exists within man's consciousness. Yeah, that's where it all exists. Yes, yeah. Some people don't accept it, so it doesn't exist in their consciousness. Yeah. I don't accept gravity. Objects fall because they do. It's as simple as that. Yeah. There's no such thing as gravitational attraction, because it cannot be proved to be true. If you think I'm wrong.
So his explanation for why things fall is things fall because they do. Is that it? Why do things fall? Because they do. But why? Because they do. Explain what is causing something to fall. Why is this going down? Explain to me, why is that? Not just it goes down because it goes down. That's fucking stupid. Sometimes he's saying he doesn't know. He's saying it's not gravity, but he can't say what does cause things to go down. What causes things? What causes the moons of Jupiter to orbit, which you can freaking see with a telescope? He doesn't know why we can see why the moon orbits us. He doesn't know. So let's say that. Not just because it does. fucking stupid. It's just like this isn't anything. Like, how does he know what that guy did is wrong? He can't freaking give an alternate explanation. So why comment about shit you don't? If you can't, if you have nothing about, then they just keep your mouth shut.
Wrong. Go and show me the force of the Earth that is pulling on an falling object like a rock.
Yeah.
You show me the force that's pulling it down. Okay, and then I'm sold on it.
Yeah.
But until then, you know, you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Show me electricity. Show me the force. Show me the electricity that's making all the stuff around me work. Show me magnetism. Show me the force of magnetism, not the effects of it. Show me the force. Show me the wind, not show me the tree swinging over there. I think the tree is swinging over there because the tree's alive and it's waving at me. You go, oh, it's the wind. Show me the wind. You can't. You only show me the effects of the wind, right? That's fucking. That's how stupid his argument is. You can use that argument for anything. Then this is ridiculous.
So there you go. But you know, it only exists in your head. You only think it's in your consciousness. Gravity. The Earth is a ball. It's in your consciousness. It's all.
We can observe it. We can test it. We can make predictions using it, and we know what it is. Like I said, Pound-Rebka experiment. Explain to me why the gamma radiation, why the redshift slowed down, going vertically up, and then going down is sped up. Explain to me why did that gamma radiation change? Why was the redshift, but yet on a horizontal, going over the same distance, the redshift didn't change? Explain why is it up and down redshift? You can have a change in the gravitational the redshift of the gamma radiation, but going over the same distance horizontally, there is no change. And I know flat earthers, not a single flat earther in the years we've been asking this has been able to answer this question. They just every single time would run away from it.
Well, it is. It's just a thought. So it's a mindset. It's a way of thinking, isn't it?
Whereas this guy? This guy's thinking that thinking it's a gravitational attraction. You and me would say, but it's just a property of the objects because they have mass. So they're going to fall.
Some people.
Exactly, yeah. A mass attracting mass. Because like magnetism, two magnets together, positive, negative, come together, right? It's going to be attracted to each other. So what is attracting this down? The only thing that's stopping it is the fact of putting my hand there because I don't want to break my case. But why is that? What's attracting this down? Why is this wanting to go down? Why is it when I pick it up, I can feel it being attracted, wanting to pull down? I have to exert the first force upwards to overcome the force wanting to bring it back down. Because if I stop that force by the force of me pushing on it and release that force, it disappears. It goes down. It wants to. What is causing it to go down?
People even think that the Earth is moving upwards
to meet those coins.
and the coins don't fall at all.
Yeah, amazing.
You know.
Upward rising Earth. Yeah, talking like they're talking about what's this space fucking Dell and the upward rising Earth model, which like completely debunks itself. If you just use the speeds, like because you have to be constantly accelerating up, which by the time if that were the case, by now we'd be actually going faster speed of light, and none of these lights around me would work because we'd be actually going faster than the light being able to reach me or anything else. So
you at the end of the day,
But that ties us into the Coriolis carousel. That one does because it's all about
perception. Frames of reference. Because it's amazing how frames of reference.
Yeah. Are you looking at those objects falling from the ground, or are you actually on one of those objects?
And the ground's moving up to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It all depends whether your glass is half empty or half full.
Well, however, it depends on how you. It depends on where you are located in order to perceive
your observation point.
Yeah, basically.
Point of observation.
Yeah, they talk about frames of reference. So and I think where they're going with this is the fact that from my frame of reference, right? My headphone case here, my frame of reference, I'm sitting here, is going down. From this thing, if you were to put a little camera on here and watch it, it would look like from its frame of reference off the surface here that this is staying steady and I am moving, and as it's going down, I'm moving up. That's what it's talking about. They talk about frames of reference. So from the reference frame of this, as it was the free fall, is legit. If I had something inside here, if I had like a case, like an empty case, everything would rise up as it's falling. It'd all rise up and it'd become like weightless for only a second, right? So from their frame of reference, they're weightless. Everything around them is rising up, right? From the frame of reference of here. But my frame of reference and around me, this is falling, this is going down. From it, everything else is moving up. That's what they're talking about, frames of reference. But even then, they even use the wrong fucking word because that's stupid.
Where you are located in order to perceive
Your observation point.
Yeah, basically.
Point of
that's all it
observation.
is.
But the thing is that you'll always experience life from your perspective.
On the ground.
On the ground.
Yeah.
That's your perspective, isn't it? Of course, you know.
So you can't place yourself into a position where, oh, I'm on one of those coins there, and I can actually see that the ground is moving
Moving up towards to
I'm
me.
not moving, but I'm not really on one of those coins, am I?
Yeah, you're basically lying.
So
You're-
I'm
Not really. We know from that frame of reference. We don't have to be on there to know that from that reference frame from that coin being on that coin that everything is moving up and flipping around it, right? From its reference frame. But me, you, everybody around me, my dog on the couch there, who's just looking at me now because I said his name. He's going back to sleep. Whatever. This is moving down, right? From everybody around us, because we're in this reference frame. Everybody, if I had a whole group of people on here and I went this and went, what is this doing? They'd say that's falling down. From this reference frame, we're all rising up. That's what it means. But everybody could be in one reference frame and still see the exact same thing, right? So that's fucking just because somebody else is over there, they may see, okay, they'll see it from a different side, but they'll still see this. They're still in my frame of reference.
skewing the real world, manipulating the real world to put forward your own personal view or opinion.
manipulating your mind.
Manipulating other people's
minds.
Because what you are doing is that you're telling people, no, you shouldn't be using your eyes and your position. You should be using this one.
Oh, right.
You should be looking at it from this view.
This point of view.
This point of view. This
But what's wrong with seeing stuff from a different point of view? Fucking like shit.
You're doing it all wrong. Yes, you want to be looking at it from
Don't-
the position as if you were on a spacecraft.
Yeah, when
Up
there
there.
are no spacecrafts.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, of course. It's a bit like the
Really? So like the Dragon capsule is in the spacecraft? Like, I mean, really? I mean, oh, they're saying like this isn't the spacecraft. Is what they're trying to say. What is it? I like to know. What is this?
Making slow and incremental.
Like, what is that then? What is this? Because that certainly looks like that's in space. It looks like a craft in space. Now they're obviously docking on the ISS, which call it another spacecraft.
Station Houston on 2 for Dragon. Dragon contact and soft capture complete.
Contact at 6:05 a.m. Central Time, 7:05 a.m. Eastern Time. Dragon and the International Space Station were flying above the Ivory Coast of Africa upon contact and capture of the Dragon spacecraft to the International Space Station.
Crazy. It looks like there's a spacecraft to me. Holy shit. They crazy. All right.
the example people give you about two astronauts in space and they push apart from each other.
apart.
I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous because it can't. It's never even been. It's never happened.
You have to think it.
That's a thought experiment.
But hold on here. Is he saying this never happened? I'm sure I've seen it. Let me look at that. to two astronauts. We got this. So let's see here. This third law demonstrated.
How do you think it will hold up in microgravity?
For every else on Earth,
all right,
in space,
that I can't do on the
space, thrusters expel one way and the vehicle is steered in the opposite way.
Hello again. More basketball stunts that I can't do on the ground, at least not while getting this much hang time. All right, back to serious business. Got a basketball right here. It's going to be object 1. I'm the second object. If object 2, myself, applies a force to object 1, then that same force will be applied, according to Newton's third law, by object 1 onto object 2. However, there's a big disparity in the mass. Object 1 is a very light mass object. Object 2...
Just like to just point something out before, if you get any flackies in here. Okay. Look, if you think he's on some sort of like apparatus, like wires and stuff like that, why is his shirt floating too? Watch his shirt, it's floating up like that because he's in microgravity. If he was on some sort of apparatus, you'd have to have some sort of like vest and stuff. I was just watching some YouTuber doing some sort of like thing recently. They had the wires on them, like doing like this. If they hit, they go fly back, they move back, and they float. And it was like they had a full vest from like here down, strapped all up and stuff like that to hold their whole torso to help control their body. So you wouldn't see the shirt floating at all. So let's just say that this is floating. All the stuff seems to be hanging, and it's all because it's in microgravity. So
myself is a larger mass object. So I'm going to try to make myself about the same shape as this ball. See how that works for us.
He's even had to tuck his shirt in so it doesn't fly up and you see his belly.
And I'm going to apply that force. You saw that force applied to the ball made it accelerate quite a bit. It really didn't accelerate me much at all. Newton's third law again, but this time we're going to use two similarly massed objects. Joe and I have about the same mass. So Joe, get into a ball. I'll do the same. I'm going to face you this way so that I don't throw you into something you can't see. Now I'm going to get into a ball behind Joe, and I'm going to apply a force to him.
Like that. So did Pete just say that can't be done? As Leota says, so I guess the space shuttle, the space shuttles were not spacecraft, or the Apollo or the Soviet capsules. According to Pete and Pete, those weren't spaceships. They were, I don't know, they were magic. Now he also says that this can't happen. So what was that again he had said?
In space and they push apart from each other. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous because it can't. It's never even been. It's never happened.
You have to think it.
Really? Let me just check that out because I think I may have missed something here. Let me just. What did he say has never happened? What was that again?
Force to him.
Does he mean like this?
Notice that when I applied a force to Joe, it accelerated Joe away from me, but I got accelerated away from him as well because the force applied to Joe ended up being the same force that was applied to me.
Holy crap! Well, I always Pete and Pete with I should really take him into this. So Pete and Pete, explain that to me because it's obviously it has happened, and I've just shown it happens. So, and when was that happened? Hold on here. Let me just check. Just double check on that. When was that put up? That was put up 2018. So yeah, we're talking 7 years ago. That one there was put up on YouTube. So, 2018 that was put up on YouTube.
That's a thought experiment, you know? So nobody
It's
knows
not.
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Unless you got to
You
do
can't
it.
demonstrate it.
You got to be able to do it. Absolutely, it needs to be demonstrated. Something like that's
Yep.
just a load of rubbish.
Which is not a thought experiment. It's physics, and it's been demonstrated many times.
Perfect. So that's Mr. Cleggan is absolute total crock of shit there. You know, but he walks. He's a physics teacher. He's got to walk around thinking gravity.
Well,
so he can palm it off to his kids at school as if it's real.
Or maybe the guy isn't actually agreeing with him. He's a physics teacher. He would know enough to know that but I don't know. His words are weird because he says, "Well, it's almost like he's saying that gravity does mass doesn't affect gravity, or it doesn't affect." So I don't know. Maybe he meant density. No, it wouldn't. I don't know.
It's the only way you can do it.
Well, we're thinking he's a physics teacher.
Yeah, well, he's We're thinking he's anyway. But that's Mr. Clegg there anyway.
They're assuming he's a physics teacher. Assumed he's a physics teacher because he said physics is his name of his channel.
And what's next then, Peter?
Do you reckon he'll get dementia when he gets older?
Oh, it's likely, yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, it could well be.
It's amazing because a lot of the people I know who get dementia, or a lot of the people who do get dementia, a lot of them do come from professional backgrounds or educated backgrounds. Yeah, you know, if you get your local builder, for example.
Oh, right, down to earth, mate. All right, yeah.
He won't get dementia.
Well, he's on.
I'd like to see his analysis on that because my wife's grandfather was a butcher. He got dementia. I worked at a care home for a while, and most of the people there were not professionals. These are people that wasn't a high end care home, and a lot of them had dementia, and some were just stay home moms. Some were just worked down a local laundromat, worked at the store, stuff like that. None of them were professionals. I can guarantee none were any kind of professionals. They had dementia. One lady was a fortune teller, was quite famous in the area. She had dementia. So I like to see his analysis on why on how many people, professionals, have got dementia compared to people who just worked like as a local builder or tradesmen and stuff like that had dementia. Because I'd be really interested to see that.
Unlikely to get dementia, whereas you get a teacher
who's had their head up their backside for most of their life, you know, who's living in this kind of false reality, this false real world. He's got a false understanding of the real world that he thinks is true. You know, his brains are fried.
Yeah, dementia.
You know, it's a bit like that guy.
They're talking shit. They're talking. There's loads of crap. There's nothing. There's no relation between having a professional career that maybe you have to use to learn something and dementia. In fact, I'm pretty sure it'd be the opposite. As you work your brain, work your mind. Now there can be other factors that have been found that could be contributing towards getting dementia. I think one of them was they found people who used aluminum pans for cooking, and they used like a metal object for using metal pans. A little bit. If you look at the bottom of some of the old aluminum pans, especially the low quality ones, you actually see little bits that have been eventually gouged out. But they reckon that because you use like maybe a steel spoon and you're scooping food out, stirring this food, there's little tiny bits of aluminum or aluminium, if I'm from the UK, that end up in the food, and we've ingested it. And those sometimes they found that, and I could be I'm citing a study that was showing they found that could be a contributing factor towards onset of dementia, or contributing towards getting dementia, as these little bits of aluminum have gotten into your food and stuff like that. And it was recommended not to use aluminum pans or ones that don't have the coating on them, stuff like that. And if you do, to not have like plastic, like non-stick aluminum, to use like plastic or wooden utensils with them, so they don't gouge and take that off when it ends up in food. Um, so that's just something I'd seen years ago.
Who did the who did the
full court
pendulum? That professor.
Oh, right.
He was sitting down and he had it, and he was, because you could tell he's brain dead.
Yeah, it's just lost who he is.
Shot to fuck. His brains have gone, because education. If you have too much education, it's bad for you.
Yeah.
It's
Too much education is bad for you. Oh no, please, no, don't get educated. It's bad for you to learn things and know things. Oh no. Dude, like, I worked as a mechanic for 20 odd years, and every single year I had to go to school to learn something new, because the technology in automotive field, like in vehicles coming out, changed every 6 months. Like, there's always something new coming out. There's always new systems, new stuff like that. Now they have hybrid vehicles, the full electric vehicles, the vehicles that are running, I think, land systems in them. Before they had like CAN bus, and before they had, and then they have like flex ray systems, and a lot more different systems. Vehicle. I worked for a company that the cars were like, you opened it up, you had something like 60 odd different computers. It was literally like a rolling freaking computer system on wheels, and ran by a engine that was pretty much just a generator, right? The amount of electricity and amount of computers that are in these cars. But every year, in fact, yeah, every year at least, I had to go in and get updated training, update training on electrical systems, update training on steering, different components. Just constantly in school learning, and I was in a trade. It was a trade system. You get the same, and getting an education is not a bad thing. People learn things all the time. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. In fact, it's very good for you to learn stuff. Or end up like these two dumbasses that think that there's no hydrogen in water. That the H and H2O, it means nothing. It means, I don't know, something like hugs.
It's unhealthy for you to have too much education.
What's his name? It was that the one who had was chatting up a young student. Forgotten his name.
Yeah, Walter Lewin.
Yeah.
Walter Lewin. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. He liked his young bit of fluff, didn't he?
Oh, well, yeah, because he's probably because he was doing that.
Right. Walter Lewin. Yeah, of course.
Lewin.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but he may have dementia now.
He might have dementia now. Yeah. So anyway.
Oh, I didn't talk. Walter Lewin. He was a physicist at MIT. I've watched some of his lectures. Very, quite interesting. I definitely look him up. He's got loads of stuff on YouTube. There's a whole playlist of like his lectures. Let's look it up, because he wasn't a young fellow back then. This is back in the 90s. Google. So let's look him up. I'm gonna look up and see. Walter Lewin. Bring that up here. All right. So Walter Lewin. Let's go Wikipedia here. Quirky fella. But let's see, he's brilliant. He was so let's just see here. Academic career. I'm more just interested in his. Yeah, he got done for early 2014. Determined that Lewin had essayed online MIT learner and violated MIT's policies. The center reported that his learner was one of at least 10 female students who Lewin had sent inappropriate messages. All right, so he's a bit of a perv. Yeah. The victim, a 32-year-old woman living in France, said that she came forward to ensure that the case was not forgotten, stating that Lewin pushed her to participate in sexual role playing and asked for naughty photos. As a consequence of this internal investigation, MIT revoked Lewin's Professor Emeritus title and removed his lectures from the institute's online learning platform. All right, so he was hitting on like 30-year-old women. So like, don't ever think like he was like, when you say students, we're talking like adults, right? So he was saying naughty things and being a perv to students who are adult students. But because it went against MIT's policies. And that's, obviously that was not good. Now it wants to know your life, awards, lectures, personal life. Lewin is an art enthusiast and collector. Collaborated with one of the founders of Zero Movement, editor of MIT and computer artist. Okay. I just want to see real quick here. Walter Lewin. I don't know if there's anything about 2017. Said I do not have Parkinson's disease. March 21st. I am still alive. 2020. Let's just see what it says. This is 5 years ago. Physics works, and I'm still alive. This is on Reddit. It's 2022. Here you are.
Hello, hello, hello. Believe it or not, today is November 7, 2022. It's Monday for me. It is 6:20 in the morning. And I'm back in the United States. And everything is working. Yeah, it is a big surprise, but it seems that everything is working now with my laptop and with Google. I will be posting later today problem 157. I just wanted to let you know that I'm doing well. We had a terrific vacation in Europe, and I will start with new problems and with even more energy than I usually have.
Right, well, it looks like Walter Lewin's doing all right. So, definitely nothing there to do with no dementia coming in there. That was 3 years ago. Oh yeah, 2022 to 4 years ago. But it looks like he's fairly doing well. So, talking shit them. Not surprised.
Let's do this other guy now. Should we go on the Coriolis carousel? I think we can do.
Go
on. Here we go. We're on the Coriolis. We're back to. I'm sure he said what his name was, didn't he?
Okay, I'm not going to finish this stream with these two guys here, these two idiots. It's just too much derp to get through. Another 15 minutes, and I'm going to call it.
I'll play it at the beginning.
Yeah, let's play it from the beginning, and then we'll.
Hi there.
I just want to grab his name.
Hi there. Play it.
Oh.
Hello, I am Boyd Edwards, professor of physics at Utah State University. Today,
Boyd Edwards. Boyd. He's a professor. Now, as far as I'm concerned, this guy he's gone beyond the point of any hope of returning back to normality.
Because he's pretty well smarter than both of these put together. Was he a professor of physics, I think?
Boyd Edwards. He's a professor.
Professor of physics.
Play it. Oh.
Hello, I am Boyd Edwards, professor of physics at Utah State University.
All right, it says Boyd Edwards, professor of physics. So he's a physics professor. So it'd be at least a PhD or or master's in physics.
Boyd Edwards. He's a professor. Now, as far as I'm concerned, this guy he's gone beyond the point of any hope of returning back to normality, leading a normal life.
Yeah. You can tell. I'm just going to make an observation about his home.
Go on then.
Because obviously.
Fucking hell. Yeah, he's one to speak. Dumbass. He just knows Boyd Edwards is well more intelligent than him, so he's going to make some sort of stupid comment.
So he's bringing everybody into his home, isn't he? That must be his missus kneeling down there.
Yeah, that's his
Boyd.
wife.
That's Boyd's wife there, looking up, gazing up.
Yeah, the daughters there.
Pissed all out
The
of her
daughters there don't look as though they're enjoying themselves. No, anyway, but the point I was going to make is that it's a very bought home.
Yeah, sure.
Bought as in, I mean that it looks so it's all.
What is in? He's a professor at a university. He's paying for it because he has a job. Yeah, probably.
Kind of clean, new. You can't make a mess.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
It just doesn't look as though
everything's got its place, kind of thing.
It doesn't look as though it's lived in. Very materialistic.
It couldn't be the fact that he's gone and, like, I don't know, cleared the space out to put on this big apparatus. That's why this chair back here is pushed way back is there. The piano is pushed way back there, kind of in place that probably wouldn't normally be. Looks like it's that, you know, kind of why would you have the big chair, armchair, and a table right beside each other? Not a table, a piano right beside each other there. And all you see is this one view. Like, fucking all these guys make so many freaking assumptions and so many freaking so judgy. The jealousy is showing. Peter and Pete, like, the jealousy is showing guys. All right.
It's very, but yeah, there's
not a lot of love there.
I'm going to play it anyway. We'll play it.
Not a lot of love, says as he has fucking pictures of his family all around him. Okay.
And we won't. I've turned the volume off, but so how do you know there's not a lot of love there?
Turn the volume off. I don't want to hear him actually speak truth and, like, actually give facts and evidence. Oh no, can't have that.
Put the closed captions on.
So he's made. The thing is, it must have taken him a while
to build that.
It should be.
He could have built it with his son.
Yeah, because
fucking farmer engineering. Now that these two could fucking comprehend.
It was a project that would build his relationship with his son.
Yeah,
but he looks quite.
Maybe they're fucking making assumptions. Who fucking knows? Maybe, you know, he's a professor of physics and also he's, you know, likes to do a bit of carpentry on the side as a hobby, something he learned because he got an education. Holy shit!
If those are his children, he looks quite old to be their kids,
right,
to be their father. Yeah.
But maybe he look at this, like, definitely stuff been pushed back. Maybe they started having kids late in life. Meow, he was a professor. Maybe he focused more on his career and his education, and then had children later on in life. Who knows? Maybe he's there fucking adopted. Maybe there's a grandchildren. Right? They're making assumptions without even thinking. How do you know those aren't grandchildren of his? How does he not know they're not nieces and nephews? Right? Fucking jumping to conclusions because they're trying to discredit everything he does. So they're making shit up.
Anyway, so he's got the camera. See, what we're talking about is frames of reference, points of view, different perspectives. And he's got one camera he had on the side, now he's got a one-up. On the frame there.
Oh, can I just say, yeah, his wife has probably told him to tidy up, and all the girls. We got all tidy up now. So
we're making a video.
Your dad's making a video.
Boydie wants to make a video.
Boydie wants to make a video.
Anyway, of course, yeah. So let's carry on. Yeah, sure. But anyway, so he's got different cameras. I think he's got 4 in total.
4 in total. He's got one chest cam on his
cam on his apparently his son. Anyway, we think it's his son.
Yeah, chest cam on his son.
Jumping to conclusions, lads.
Chest cam on the rotating.
He's got a cam on
carousel. He's got a chest cam externally.
Why you got this thing about chest cams?
Rotating overhead cam.
Rotating overhead cam. So from that view, the ball's just going backwards and forwards. And from
a non-rotating,
from his body cam, and you got that. Now that could be his son, and they could be his grandchildren.
No, it's probably one of his students.
Holy shit! Yeah, look, maybe they're grandchildren, maybe the nieces and nephews. Who gives a fuck?
So you reckon that's one of his students? Okay, his wife's moving. She's spinning them all. Come on, children. Behave yourselves now. Now, imagine you're having a good time. You've got to show that you're having a good time.
Yeah, smile now.
Smile now.
That looks like fun to me.
That girl looks piss poor.
That looks like fun to me.
Out of her face. I'll
have a go.
I like that. Look at the fan, the heater, the wood log fire stove.
What about it?
Well, it looks as if it hasn't been used.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying.
How do you fucking know? Pardon me. Sorry, down the wrong freaking hole there. How would he know? Did he see inside the freaking wood fire burning stove? I used to fucking growing up, we had a wood burning stove, heated half our house because we had an older house that had a big extension on it. How would you know? Because the outside always looked clean because, you know, we weren't freaking mingers. But the inside, and we used that heated half our house for a couple of years until eventually we got paid and had had heating put in the other side. But it didn't look, it wasn't dirty outside, only inside. Like, fuck.
Saying this, it's all pretentious. It's all kind of, it's all false. It's all for show. Yeah, it's all for show. But
how do you fucking know? Because looking at what that freaking wood burning stove, where it is, let's go back here. That looks functional to me. You have it around here. You have to have all this here to stop, because obviously they radiate heat. You'd have tile and stuff here. This is all the heat resistant tile at a certain point around here to stop it, because obviously you have wood, hardwood, or it could be laminate flooring. Don't know. Looking at the house of it, probably hardwood. But you know, who knows? Doesn't matter. But all this has to be around here and tile, because that gets really hot. That looks fucking functional. And who gives a shit if it's not? It seems we got a pipe and everything. Probably is functional. Do they use it or not?
Stove.
Who gives a crap?
Stove. What about it? It's all for show. Yeah, it's all for show. But anyway, so I don't know what he's
jumping to stupid conclusions again, because there are a couple of fucking dumbass
got with that stick. I mean, what's he going to do? Whip them if they get it wrong?
No, it's a freaking pointing thing. Like if you're standing in lectures, you point at stuff like that. You know, it's, I don't have anything around like that, but yeah, it's legit for, like, you know, like look at this, read that, or like talking about this here, so that people know the reference, right? While I was doing my apprenticeship stuff, I got my lecturers and some of the guys, the trainers and stuff like that, had the laser pen. It's the same freaking thing.
But anyway, so what is he doing now? I really don't know. He's playing around with his microphone. Was he yawning then?
I think he was. Yeah,
he looks.
But he's talking to one of the kids. You turn the fucking sound on, you know it, but you don't want to, because you know that he'll say stuff that will just falsify everything these dumbasses are saying.
Piss poured out of his face. He's interviewed his son. There you go.
Oh, but you want to play the thing?
So should we listen to this? Let's listen to this, okay?
His hands, and why is that? And I might ask, from Aiden's perspective, why that was.
Because Jocelyn had already moved out of the way.
Exactly. Jocelyn moved out of the way while the ball was in the air. Jocelyn rotated, and the ball didn't go to Jocelyn after all, but instead went to Olivia. Aiden's chest camera and the rotating overhead camera show the ball deflecting toward the right, while the stationary overhead camera shows the ball going straight. The ball deflects toward the thrower's right on a carousel that rotates counterclockwise, as seen by a rotating observer. On a carousel that rotates clockwise, the ball deflects toward the thrower's left. The force that causes this deflection is called the Coriolis force.
There you go. So they're actually ascribing a name, just like there's something on the beach there. Oh, I'm going to call that just like gravity.
The name fucking doesn't matter. You could have called her freaking like unicorn freaking eye magic. For all you give a shit, doesn't matter. It's still the force, and we can explain what it is. These guys get so stuck on freaking, like, they call it the Coriolis force because it's probably who discovered it. Let's double check and see. In fact, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's look it up. But let's see here. Why was the Coriolis force called the Coriolis force?
It's named after Gustave Gaspard Coriolis, the French physicist who first described it back in 1835. He wasn't talking hurricanes. He was analyzing rotating machinery, like water wheels, and showed that when something moves in a rotating frame, like Earth, there's an apparent sideways force. The term Coriolis force stuck because his math paper nailed the exact expression we still use today. Even though the effect was noticed earlier by others, Coriolis was the one who worked out the proper formula, so we gave him the naming rights.
There, lads. Look, fucking 5 seconds of research, you can find out why Coriolis force is called the Coriolis force. Because somebody who freaking worked out the mathematics and to show and be able to prove it, and actually to show how it works, got naming rights because he's the one who actually showed the evidence to prove it, and was able to calculate it and demonstrate it and make predictions of it. Look, it makes sense, now doesn't it?
Just like, well, you can't really say.
Well, you could, because gravity...
Oh, no, hold on, sorry. You can't say, oh, there's sand on the beach, so describe the name. It's not similar to this, because I can actually go to the beach and get some sand.
Yeah.
This, however, is different, because he's actually saying that this is a Coriolis effect.
Yeah.
But is it, though?
Is it? Well, yeah, sure. Now,
it is, yes.
But you see, the thing is, this is a total...
It's similar to gravity.
Yeah, the Coriolis effect is just a concept that exists in people's heads. That's all it is.
Yeah. No, it isn't.
And at the end of the day, what they're doing here is a total manipulation to convince other people that the Coriolis effect is real and does exist in a real world. Yeah. This is the thing. Now, as far as...
Well, that's really fucking weird, because as we all know this, I'm going to show it for anybody who hasn't seen it. Here's weather radar, right? So look at this Coriolis force. Now, going across here, so we can play this. The Earth is rotating. As it rotates, you have the winds coming from the north that are drawing down. They're moving slower than the winds from the equator. Here's the equator here going across here. You see how it goes straight across, because the Earth is a globe. Right, so it's a sphere rotating. So as it come down, these winds are going slower, so they deflect backwards, because these winds are going faster, so they're going to push further, causing what we have. See up here, you see this. This is actually happening right now, by the way. You'll see these going. So as they're going that way, you have the northern hemisphere storms and stuff tend to go counterclockwise. As these winds are deflected that way, as they're coming down, they're going slower. These winds coming up are going faster, causing that. The opposite way is in the south. These winds from Antarctica and over the south are going slower, so they deflect. You see this storm pattern here are deflected backwards because they're going slower. And as the winds from the equator here are drawn down, because they're going faster, causing a rotation that is clockwise in the southern hemisphere. Coming across here, we will not have, we don't really tend to see a lot of stuff coming from here that we deflected up, because the winds are pushing this way and coming down. As you can see, my mouse there are coming down and going this way, and those are coming up this way. So they are deflected up, so going faster. So you can get the winds from here are produced, but you have that. So you have this coming up and deflected away. These going this deflecting that way, causing the Coriolis effect. This is the Coriolis force. This is what he was showing there. Because as this ball is thrown here, is going faster, is deflected up and going away because the Earth is rotating, and going down this way, and it's showing because the Earth is rotating. So as the Earth rotates around, this part here is going faster than these parts down here in orbital in speed, right? So we're talking the speed. This is why all flat earthers always bring up the Earth's rotation 1,000 miles per hour. That's only at the equator. As you get further away from the equator, that speed, rotation is measured in speed, drops down until you get to the pole. As soon as you get to the pole, the orbital speed, as they bring up, is 0. But we don't measure rotation in miles per hour. It's done in RPM or rotations, in which then the Earth, actually the whole entire Earth, even if you're standing at the north and southern pole, is 0.00069 RPM. And that's how, so that applies for the whole Earth. So that's why we use that, and not just the speed at whatever this point. That's when we talking about the distance it covers from point to point as it goes that 15, or if you can see 15 degrees per hour, you can measure rotation in degrees. So this is clearly seen all the time. In fact, let's see if we can see 60 minutes. That was over a 30-minute span. Here's a 60-minute span. So the Coriolis effect and the Coriolis force, this is the force which causes the effect. The effect is what we see. The force is the force which is being applied. This is seen in nature. So him saying that this isn't seen in nature is total bullshit.
We're concerned, we see these people using this apparatus, okay, and they could say that it's the Coriolis effect. But the Coriolis effect can only be applied to this apparatus, and that's it.
No,
That's a lie, because I just showed how it can be applied to storm patterns and wind patterns, which is easily shown. I just showed it using radar that was being observed of the cloud patterns and storm patterns over the Earth.
It's not. No, you can't even do that.
No, you don't think so?
No, because what ruins this whole demonstration is the more cameras.
Yeah,
the
cameras.
more places that you can observe this happening.
It doesn't ruin it at all. In fact, it just shows from different reference frames what you're seeing. It even showed from one is showing what the ball is deflecting, but from the other reference frame, it's actually showing the ball going straight. It's just like as he throws it, the ball's going straight and the person's moving and it's getting in the way. From this reference frame, the ball is curving. But all it is it's actually going straight, but she's just getting in the way. He's throwing to her, but by the time the ball gets to this point here, gets out and as soon as it leaves his hands, she's already moved and she's gotten in the path. She's moved into it. But so you see this curve. But from the other reference frame, it's the ball goes straight and she moves into the path of the ball. That's all he was trying to show. Like these guys are just too stupid to freaking realize exactly what it does. It was actually a well thought out explanation. In fact, it was very well thought out, I think, because it shows from different points of view on what is happening. Different reference frame.
Gives the whole thing away that it's just a load of bullshit. Just like bullshit, really. Just a load of rubbish. I understand because this is the big problem with Coriolis effect and demonstrations of it when they're doing these kind of rotating swings and stuff. And the big problem is that they use different frames of reference. And this is why?
Because it's they show from different reference frames what the observation looks like, and how the force is being applied, and where you decide how you can observe it.
It's got to be because they have to do that in order to convince the viewer or the person in the school or lecture hall, whatever, that the Coriolis effect is genuine and does exist in the real world.
It does exist in the real world. I just showed it being on the effect being applied using storms. You can also look at long distance artillery, in which their Coriolis effect is calculated into calculations when they're doing long distance artillery rounds and stuff like that. If you look at like a long distance, like super long distance sniper shots, the Coriolis effect is actually in that. Now, other things like crosswinds and obviously trajectory drop and stuff can be have a larger effect and be more of a contributing factor. But if it's a super calm day, and then the Coriolis effect is calculated in the calculations over a certain distance, when it starts to become more of a factor that's going to affect the shot. And there's even demonstrations showing this, where a guy went out and did over 1,000-yard shot on a table, whole rifle and everything in a jig, that way it's not moving. And he did different shots, and you can see that some are higher and some are lower depending on the Coriolis force. As the Earth rotated towards him, as it came towards him, his shots actually went lower. As the Earth rotated away from him, so as it went the other way, their shots were actually slightly above. And that's down to the Coriolis effect.
The thing is that because they've got a lot of, we all know that ball does not curve. No, we all know that. We all know the ball will always go in a straight line, always. Yeah.
Except for this reference frame, it doesn't. So this picture proves him wrong, and he showed the path of the ball curving.
The only thing that makes it appear to go in a curve, appear in your mind, is the way.
Not in the mind, we can see it. This isn't in our mind. It's not in my mind, not in their mind, not in your mind. This is observable reality. You absolute fucking two bellends.
You look at it. Yeah, it's the perception because at the end of the day, the actual camera that this is fixed to is rotating. Yeah, it's moving, and this is this big thing.
But the path still is curved. The path you can see from this reference frame. That path curved.
Camera rotating. Oh, absolutely. Do you rotate? Do you rotate as an observer? Do you rotate? You don't when you're looking at something. No, you don't. You don't do this.
I do. If I go out and look at the stars right now, I can see them. Stars just staying where they are. I can see them moving. I can look if I did a time lapse of the looking at the northern star trails. I can see them turning. It's the rotation of the Earth.
But what they're essentially doing is intentionally skewing the apparatus, assuming the perception of it from different angles to get the result they want, which is to get people to think and accept that this thing called the Coriolis effect is genuine. But it's not. It's just a made up.
It's just a frame of reference.
It's just a frame of reference.
That's all it is. It's the frame of reference that creates the effect.
Yeah, sure.
Therefore, there's no effect in nature.
Well, there's nothing. Let's leave this bloke's house.
It's just a frame of reference.
Yeah, let's leave Boyd's living room and let's go in the real world and let's see a typhoon, let's see a hurricane or a tornado. Okay, and you demonstrate Coriolis effect.
Yeah,
there isn't one.
There isn't one. Yeah.
There isn't one at all. Not one at all.
But really, so this isn't happening. I mean, this is weather radar. It's not typhoon or hurricane station right now, but we can see this. I can show you like live. This is just weather radar. It's just showing it. This is radar being picked up, but I can show Now you can see this on satellites. If I don't know if this one has a satellite option, but. I seem to be having some issues here. It's not working. Hey, MV, Rocket Gold, how's it going? It's just not showing up my stream. My internet is not happy with me tonight. I don't know what's going on. No, we haven't found Mikey yet. He still seems to be missing. I don't know where Mikey Smith is. I mean, has anybody seen anything new from Mikey Smith lately? Because I haven't. I've been kind of keeping an eye. Might have to, I sent him an email, but he still probably got my email blocked. So, you can comment on one of his videos. Oh, there we are. Seems to be working now. I don't know what's going on here. Right. So, what you can see here is this is live radar. My stream seems to be a bit scuffed, but what I was seeing here, those guys are saying you can't see this, but you can. Do this. Okay. I am sorry, people, that it seems like, I don't know, internet or something scuffed here. Absolutely freaking like getting cooked. So I'm trying to see if the stream would catch up. I don't know what's going on with the stream. I got poor. All right. I don't know if YouTube's having issues or something here, but my bit rate and everything else is fine. So. Broken Gold said, last I heard, he was begging people to send gas money so he could drive to Quebec and park his automobile in front of the USCSA. Yeah, I seen that too, and that was the last time I seen. That was ages ago. I'm sure it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that was he did live. He did a short on that, and he did one on his bike pedaling his arse off and saying something about "Don't be scared of him." I just don't know what's going on with him. Just a little bit longer and then you get off.
They've got, you see, they've got these people in science. They've got this idea of the Earth being a ball, and it's rotating. Okay, so they think to themselves, well, how can we explain tornadoes or convince people that we can account for? We have the knowledge of tornadoes and how they occur, and typhoons and hurricanes. oh, well, we can make up this little demonstration here and have different frames of reference, and then this will get people thinking that this is what happens in the real world.
But
It does.
But it doesn't. Absolutely doesn't.
It does happen in the real world, and I already showed it using using cloud patterns to storm patterns, and showing the path of the storms, and showing exactly as was demonstrated the Coriolis effect. This is easily demonstrated.
How can this demonstration here, only using frames of references, because that's all it's doing, determine that the Earth is a globe and hurricanes go this way in the northern hemisphere and typhoons go that way in the southern hemisphere?
Yeah, I mean,
all because of this
because
frame of reference.
The one thing we've got to, I don't think did we have?
Okay, I don't know what's going on here. I even have it plugged straight into the internet, so. Okay, well, I am I don't know what's going on. My YouTube or something is having a absolute freaking shit fit here. Not enough video to maintain smooth streaming, such as viewers will experience buffering. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, YouTube seems to be getting absolutely scrubbed tonight. Like it's having nothing but freaking shit fits here. I don't even think it's my PC. I'm trying to see what's going on here. What's um Alright, folks. Yes, the video and the audio and everything is just really cooked here. Right. Wait for this to see if we can catch up here a bit. But yeah, so I think we're gonna leave it at that. It seems like I had a decent time tonight, and go see the wifey, and she's probably fell asleep by now because I actually meant to get off about 15 minutes ago or so. But all right, yeah. Uh, right. So see if I'm monitoring the stream here. See if it's any better. Oh, now it's gone excellent again. See there, you know, everything's caught up. Right. I don't know, people. All right. So sorry about all that. Things seem to just get freaking absolutely cooked there. But so just to mention real quick here down below, if you see the link there, this is a GoFundMe I'm doing for a telescope to help bigger, better telescope. I'm trying to get a 10-inch Dobsonian to go do some observations, some better observations and stuff like that, to make flat earthers cry a bit more when it shows stuff like the orbit of Jupiter as it orbits, and the transition of like the moons of Jupiter and Saturn as you go across the face, and we can see the shadows on the Earth, on the planet, stuff like that. Or to see stuff like Venus in different phases of Venus, and maybe also going to do some observations, like some solar observations, and kind of push a bit more again to a bit more of that and stuff like that. So I am doing. I know it's Christmas time, so a lot of people are up against it. You know, it's a holiday season. Probably a bad time to be doing this, but I'm going to continue this into the new year. So just if anybody has a couple extra dollars, wants to throw them in there just to help out, help a brother out, it's there. I thought I'd just mention it real quick. And that be that. So seems like the stream is getting better now. Um, just double checking my. Yeah. Also, just a quick thing here. I've been thinking about this for a while, but I think personal attacks on people in our community are out of order. Malicious goes and having to go with somebody is just it's just not on. I mean, the fact that if you're gonna do stuff like that, you're just showing your own, morality of yourself. If somebody happens to be going and looking at stuff that's on social media that's open to the public, unfortunately, people, that's not doxing. That really isn't okay. And so I know some people have claimed this and had to go and thinking because this and that. But look, if if you're in this kind of stuff, like that, have things locked down. Just have things put in private. Don't have your stuff tied in. Don't give information out. Right? People shouldn't be giving public private information out, information that can be easily tied to you online. Right? This is common online safety. So um if you're not keeping this, and then bad things and then things happen and that you don't want to have happen, and people that you don't want to have seeing things, the only person really to kind of, is you have to kind of take some personal accountability. So but to go and use 2016 like insults and stuff like that, I mean, come on. I mean, you're using stuff that's from, like, this memes of 2016 insults. I mean, that stuff lost its Wi-Fi signals in 2019. I mean, it's just embarrassing. Just embarrassing. And 2016 called and said it wants his insult back, please. But that's just, and you can't, to go around, anybody that thinks that they can tell somebody else who they can't have on their live streams or on the channel, or what videos to look and not look at. And in this, nobody has that right? Nobody, I don't tell anybody what they can and can't do, who they can and can't. And I don't think anybody, else should say that. So, saying that, I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I do think that we need to kind of have a bit more morality and be a bit, um, and just kind of show a bit more maturity, than that. So it's just, we are the people who should have the common courtesy and have the maturity level and the intelligence to be better than that, right? And every day you should try to be better than the day you were before, right? There's something I lived by, and it was like, better today than was yesterday, and be better today, better tomorrow than I am today. So. See you, Leotis. Yeah, for sure, buddy. Yeah. My YouTube is acting wacky today. Yeah, definitely. YouTube's on one, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're having some server issues, whatever. Yeah. Um, I guess these things happen. It's part of our live streaming, so it's all fun. Seems to be acting well now, so I don't know. Maybe there's some internet issues. But back to the thing. So yeah, let's just try to be better to each other, and to show, especially this time of year, better peace and love. But like I said, nobody has the right to tell somebody else how to run their YouTube channel. You can give suggestions, you can give tips, and it's up to that person if they want to take that or not. But um, if somebody's doing content and is within TOS, then that's it, right? I made sure not to do anything that was going to be to show anything up of anybody. And I made steps to go with that, but um I'm not going to resort to name calling, or to start like insults and stuff like that, because I think I'm better than that. I have a bit of a better moral code to start going and start you know, shitting on people, especially within our in our community. There's one thing to see. If I called Pete and Pete, a couple bellends and dumbasses. But they're saying it's really bellend. But that's just me just saying that. I'm not, and that's one thing to say that. It's not really a personal attack. I just think what they said was dumb, and and them claiming the things they're claiming, which are demonstrably empirically wrong, they are being a stupid bellend, right? So that's it. So that's where I'm going with that. Within our community, we need to kind of have some cohesion, right? The flat earthers like to go and like have the infighting. They have all their tribalism. They like to, I hate this person because they think this, or they hate this person and think that, or this person had this person on their stream and I don't like that person. So come on, that's just such like junior high schoolyard crap. Like we're all better than that. We all should be a lot better. So that's I'm gonna keep it at that. But yeah, I mean, if you don't like my what I'm doing here, if you don't like, then just I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I can't be everybody's cup of tea. I'm I do my thing. I have no malice behind it. I'm not doing anything to be hateful in the debunking community. I try to just have a certain, once if I found something funny, that I put something up that I found funny, and some people found it funny, some people didn't find it funny. Now I made the decision that I'm going to just take it down because I thought, okay, you know what? I seen that maybe it wasn't, maybe as maybe it hurt some people's feelings. I was trying not to hurt, so I took it down because I decided that it wasn't worth having up. No, it wasn't worth having the views. I was getting a shitload of views. I still got loads of views on that, right? I decided it wasn't worth it, right? So I just chose that over that. And even though I had people saying to me, "I'll put it back. That wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad, right?" But I'm not going to have somebody dictating to me who I can and cannot have on my channel, or what videos I can and cannot look at. If the videos are on YouTube and they're within TOS, and decide I want to look at a particular video, I have the rights to do that. And yeah, I just wanted to reiterate that. But yeah, that's it. So thanks everybody for coming. Thanks for the comments. I might have to maybe look at that. If Unfornicated is going to be doing Sunday live streams out of nowhere. I don't know why Dan's doing that, because I've been doing these Sunday live streams since March. I set it up for Sundays and Mondays. I always do it around 9-10 o'clock UK time, and that's it. So I don't know if you start overstepping, then maybe I can work something out. Maybe do I don't know. These seem to work best for me, so I guess it is what it is. Yeah. I guess people watch a restream. I don't know if I can, if I'm able to change it. I don't, I have my schedule set for a certain reason. But that's it. Yeah. So thanks everybody for watching. I am going to leave it at that. I'm going to go to bed and have a good day. Have a good night. And remember, people, Earth's definitely a globe. Space is real, but don't forget, stay curious. And I will see you all again.
NASA lies, yeah, that's what I say. Don't have proof of facts in any way. I claim the moon's made of plasma, a place no one can go. The Apollo program's a scam, I can't back it up though. They talk about the ISS is floating in space. You ask me in a pool, I'd say is the case. Satelloons in the sky held up by helium balloons. But bro, that's just a lie, cause that's what all bitches do. NASA lies is something I'll never prove. No facts, no evidence, debates I will lose. They say they've been to the moon, I say it's not the truth. I see truth in no way, I hate MC2 when he shows me proof. The firmament is real, a dome up above, but I'll never prove it, so lost that I'm dumb. I know the world is flat, trust your sense of sight. Saying gravity's just a theory is why I'm up at night. NASA is phony like a show or movie, fake like some stage. Truman Show, child's play, it's just but suck at this game. Because I'm just a dick with only my stupid self to blame. But I'm so fucking sure that the earth is flat, based on how I feel with my pop-up flare. Swear my blind faith is what keeps it real. NASA lies is something I'll never prove. No facts, no evidence, debates I will lose. They say they've been to the moon, I say it's not the truth. I see truth in no way, I hate MC2 when he shows me proof. Asking the wrong questions, my beliefs are all faith-based. I can't see the fucking answers right in front of my face. Stanley Kubrick is mentioned every single goddamn time. Somehow he filmed it without nobody dropping a dime. The firmament is a dome, it keeps water in the sky. But when you ask me to prove it, I can't know why. NASA in Hebrew, it means to lie or deceive. My fourth priest told me and blindly I believe. NASA lies is something I'll never prove. No facts, no evidence, debates I will lose. They say they've been to the moon, I say it's not the truth. I see truth in no way, I hate MC2 when he shows me proof. Spreading misinformation and lies willfully so proud. Like Nathan Thompson yelling at strangers so loud. NASA's lies, people, space is fake and Earth isn't round. Oh shit, the fathers and husbands stop me into the ground.
asking the wrong questions. My beliefs are all faith-based. I can't see the fucking answers right in front of my face. Stanley Kubrick is mentioned every single goddamn time. Somehow he filmed it without nobody dropping a dime. The firmament is a dome, it keeps water in the sky. But when you ask me to prove it, I can't. Why? NASA in Hebrew, it means to lie or deceive. My flirt priest told me and blindly I believe. NASA lies is something I'll never prove. No facts, no evidence, debates I will lose. They say they've been to the moon, I say it's not the truth. I see truth in the way I hate and see when he shows me proof. Spreading misinformation and lies willfully so proud. Like Nathan Thompson yelling at strangers so loud. NASA's lies, people's space is fake and Earth isn't loud. Oh shit, the fathers and husbands stop me into the crowd.